Good afternoon and welcome, everybody. This would be the Jeff Cameron Show right here on 97.9 ESPN Radio. Happy Monday. Hope you're well. Thanks for tuning in. Happy Thanksgiving week, my friends. Appreciate you. We're online, ESPNTallahassee.com. That's where you're going to listen live via the streaming free always. Don't miss anything, but if you do, go back and get caught up at your leisure. We will post the program, all 3 hours of it, in fact, on iTunes and in our own audio vault. Information's everywhere. Look at this. Get it together, Cameron. On Twitter, it's at J Cameron Show, the WTSM app, good for your mobile devices. See, YouTubers can see this, and my papers are everywhere.
Get the papers.
Yeah. JCS at 979, ESPNRadio.com. You know, I watched that movie on Thanksgiving holiday every year. I don't know why.
Really?
Yeah, it's usually on.
Because it's on, so you don't go get it.
No, yeah, don't search it out. It's just on, and I'm like, oh, there, Goodfellas is on. I'm going to watch.
That's interesting. Movies, it's fine. That movie's fine.
Yeah, it's a good movie.
Yeah. I don't hold it on high the way
that some
a lot of mob people do, mob movie people.
Well, if you're going to go in the catalog of, you're just going to look in the canon of Scorsese movies, Raging Bull is a much better film.
It is.
It's arguably the greatest film ever made.
I know that's in your top 5.
Oh,
it's cemented in your top 5.
Well, I mean, if something comes along that moves it, I'll give way. But oof, that is an all
films these days, though.
Well, they're all superhero films, so you know.
Have you seen The Irishman yet?
I have not.
Sounds like a superhero movie, but it's not.
I'm excited to see it. No, I haven't seen it yet. Seeing films, my God, there was a time.
Well, but it's on Netflix though.
No,
as well.
I know. Yeah. I'm gonna get to it. We're working today, and we're working tomorrow, and then we're not. That's how that's going to go. Funny, you hear, you wonder, you kind of kicking the tires on, we're going to announce this coach thing or what's going to go on. And, I've maintained that I felt like it would be somewhere in that first week of December. But, gosh, there's just so many rumors out there, and you don't know what to go with. And occasionally, I will say I have sympathy for those that have been burned, and there have been several that were burned. You have your sources you cultivate over years in many cases, or they're guys that are tied in at the highest levels, and that they're not in the business of handing you nonsense. And so some of those guys I think got burned this last time, and they were handing off information to people that turned out to be erroneous. And then we talked about it last week that some of that might be the people in the coaching search firm, and they may be intentionally.
Mm-hmm. Whispers.
Throwing things out there. Just
whispers.
Just to try to get misinformation going. And so under that umbrella, man, I heard something earlier today. And I was just talking to somebody that I know that I am pretty close with over the years, and has at times been a source and a good one. He and I were just talking back and forth about the possibilities of certain coaches. And, it was a general conversation about, I was sort of talking about James Franklin in the sense that, to me, I'm not real sure why James Franklin would want this job, and I don't like when coaches use us. Now, this is what coaches do for all big-time job openings. If they're currently employed at a place where you can win and win big, and their salary is amongst the elite, and they're happy, they try to do what they can to utilize whatever open position there is to get a raise. And that's how the game is played, but I don't like it, and I get that's how the game is played, but I don't like being the recipient of that. I don't like being the university that's being used for somebody else to get a raise. And so I'm always really dubious. I typically kind of look at that and go, I don't know. Does it make any sense? Like if you're coaching at, let's just use another hypothetical. Let's just say all of a sudden out of nowhere, you were hearing that Lincoln Riley was a candidate. Well, I would dismiss that on its face. It wouldn't make any sense for Lincoln Riley. He's at Oklahoma. Why would you come to Florida State from Oklahoma? Now, again, I love Florida State. But if you're at Oklahoma, you have everything you need to win, and you have more in the way of resources and tradition, frankly, than you would at Florida State. Now, you can really recruit here. I got it. But you're not leaving Oklahoma to come to Florida State. You're not. Would you leave a place like Notre Dame to come to Florida State? That actually causes me to pause and think that maybe you would. Like, I would lend more credence to that than I would Oklahoma to Florida State. only because you really are restricted by who you can recruit to Notre Dame.
South Bend's a dump.
South Bend sucks, and not only that, legitimately they have a harder time getting kids into school. So they are affected by that. And if you begin to believe you can't win a championship there and that's all that's left to be done, and you're frustrated and you'd like to win one before your coaching career is over, you might listen when Florida State comes calling. In fact, I think you would. Again, noted the prestige of being the coach at Notre Dame. Understood. Just talking about if you really desire to win a championship, you might come to the conclusion you simply can't these days there without all the stars lining up perfectly. So therefore, let's take it on down the road. So when James Franklin's name keeps coming up and you keep hearing those whispers, you kind of forced to engage in that and talk a little bit about it and kind of call your sources and ask everybody, hey, is there anything to this James Franklin thing? Because I'd like James Franklin to come to Florida State. He's done a great job of recruiting to Penn State, and he took over a situation that wasn't exactly desirous, and he's turned it into something now. Look, they didn't beat Ohio State. They're not of that ilk, but they're good, and he's recruited well, and he's had a lot of success. And I would think that'd be a good hire. That would be a splash hire for Florida State. But it doesn't make a lot of sense, does it? Like, why would you leave Penn State, which is stable now, in large part thanks to him, to come to Florida State?
You would do so because it's not stable with the hierarchy. You'd have to be unhappy for a reason.
Well, you'd have to be of the mindset that you're not going to get past Ohio State, and maybe you're not going to get past Michigan. I don't know. To me,
but I think day-to-day ops, you'd have to have something more than just path to a title.
Sure, there'd be something going on behind the scenes, and that's the stuff you never really can know when you're down here. You hear those rumors, you read those articles. People have, certainly there's been speculation that he's been unhappy, but that's also what a coach's agent says when he's trying to get a raise from a university when another big job opens up. Well, James may want to listen to that. We're a little upset with the way things are going here. That's the stuff you throw out there. You posit so that you can get that raise. So I just haven't believed in it. I haven't bought into it. And I've been fascinated to see, is there another step? Is there another wrinkle to that story? And I haven't heard one yet. So for those that are asking about that, look, I think if Florida State can hire James Franklin, it would be a great hire. I don't see it. To me, you're probably looking at a lesser name, but now we know that name is not Mark Stoops. He is not a candidate for the job. So on that front, as the weekend came and went, did we learn a lot in the coaching search? Not really. Kind of learned that Mark Stoops isn't a candidate.
Right. Yeah.
And
so no Stoops will be coaching here next year.
So beyond that, we really didn't learn a lot, except to say that, as we suspect, that this looks like it's moving towards that first week in December. Now, there are wild rumors out there of a non-traditional approach that Florida State could take. And, I don't know how true that is or not, and I'm not trying to start that. But what I am saying is, yes, I've heard those. I've heard those rumors of kind of a non-traditional setup. And, the reason that you would even think that that's a possibility is because Arizona State just did it. Now, they're 6-5, whatever. It's been a mixed bag with Herm Edwards there, this sort of idea of a CEO coach, and you surround him with like a general manager type, and then you have assistant coaches that are doing the day-to-day stuff, and he's just sort of overlooking the operation.
Yeah, you bring the NFL model to college as best you can.
Yeah, and there are programs that are looking into that. There are schools that have certainly looked at that and thought, okay, that's another way of doing it, especially if there's a candidate that you wanted that you can't get, or maybe there's just nobody that's all that appealing to you right now. You could kind of take that approach. Under that approach was something that I thought would be maybe the solution if you – well, let me phrase that differently. That would be the only way that Odell Higgins would be the head coach at Florida State.
Yeah, for me, that's where I thought the Mark Stoops hire wouldn't be terrible either if you get a super staff around him. Right?
Yeah, but the problem is Mark is going to he would have wanted big-time money. He would have wanted
and you'd have to pay up front quite a bit of money just to pry him from Kentucky, which it just sounds absurd.
Sounds absurd,
yeah.
No, so I don't know. Hold your breath, everybody, is what I'm saying. I don't know. I don't know that we're...
Or don't.
Yeah. Maybe don't worry about it. Maybe enjoy a Thanksgiving week and not worry about it.
That's kind of, unfortunately. Typically when, friends of ours, they they'd call and they say, "Hey, it's time for information season. You got anything?" When we're winning a bunch, when we're apathetic and we're losing a bunch, the phone doesn't ring so much. There aren't so many text messages. But at a time like now, hey, hearing anything? And I hate to tell them all, it's like, it's crickets, man. It's largely crickets, which is interesting because how can, this is just an outside fan.
But I want it to be crickets, by the way.
Well, if you're close to making a hire, right, if you think it's going to be next week, how is it possible that there are crickets around the situation largely? Well, that's just fascinating to me because somebody's going to talk at some point.
This next week, it'll really pick up. I mean, this week will be the one, like when we get late into the week and early into next, that's what it'll really start to pick up then. Because the 30th, if you're trying to bring in a guy that's currently coaching somewhere and has games that remain, he's done on the 30th. So, leading up to the 30th, you're going to start to get that. I'm still falling back on the first week of December.
I mean, that's largely, that's the percentages lie with you. But to me, I feel like it's almost like a baby pool, from back in the day. It's just like, all right, $5 on, December 4th. I don't know. Because, that's when these things happen historically. But I don't know that it's an indicator necessarily, given that it's pretty much quiet, that Florida State isn't, honing in on a specific guy. You'd think that would marry with the idea of, if we're announcing something a week from today, for example, you would think there would be lead-up information, like right now, that says Florida State is closing in on candidate X.
Let's hope not, though. I have hoped that all the while this would be buttoned up and quiet. Let the social media platforms of the world engage in speculation, wild as it may be, and back and forth about the possibility of candidate A, candidate B, and candidate C, and the reasons why that's a possibility or not a possibility. Let the fans argue and media members argue and all that, while Florida State says nothing and goes about their business very professionally, buttoned up, very quiet, keep it close to the vest, iron out whatever details with that candidate that need to get ironed out before the interview process takes place, have an agreement in essence in place, a deal in principle, and then sit down across from that person after they've coached their final game. And on that Monday, you go ahead and make that announcement and you move forward. And it keeps you from being in the circus and you're not made to look like a fool. Other people can speculate and then say, wow, this is becoming a nightmare for Florida State. No, that's just you speculating that you think it's crazy when, in fact, it's all been really straightforward.
Heard anything about Dirk Cutter? No? No?
I heard that he was really frustrated going against a Buccaneers defense that has been a sieve against everybody else in the National Football League, save for Matt Ryan and the Falcons. As the Bucs carve through the Falcons' defense, Jameis Winston starts shaky, ends up having a great day at the ballpark, and that defense dominates, and that is a whitewashing of the Falcons, and they can sit their ass in last place. That's what they can do.
At least for a week. We got them.
College football, game of the weekend, Pac-12, you just can't have nice things. I tried to get you into the playoffs. I'm so mad I'm beating up my mic. I tried to get you into the playoff. All you got to do is take care of business against a sorry-ass 5-5 Arizona State team. And what do, Oregon? You just throw it out the window. There you are.
We scored more points than you did. That means we're victorious, man.
28 for Oregon. 31 for Arizona State. Thanks for playing.
We've got more.
Utah, by the way, can still be that fourth playoff team. They got to win out and beat Oregon and be a Pac-12 champion and hope the committee deems them worthy in an imperfect system. That's about the best they can hope for. Oklahoma, I suppose, is still in the mix with a narrow 28-24 win over TCU. They're not playing all that well, though, if we're just doing eye test stuff. They continue to just get by against a bunch of bad teams. I don't know that there was really anything more to this weekend save for Baylor beat Texas, and everybody does these days. Obviously, I would throw in the mix that Ohio State, who had an opportunity to blow Penn State out, decided to start putting the ball on the ground. Suddenly that became a closer game than necessary. 28-17, Ohio State wins, rolls on, sets up the big matchup against Michigan. I will say that was there anything more predictable than a 19-13 Georgia-Texas A&M game? I mean, did we not say this is perfect? I almost named the score.
No, that was entirely predictable.
Yeah, very.
44 was the total.
And I went Georgia team total under too. That was the. I mean, come on, everything about that game. You knew, in a weird way, no matter how it looked, Texas A&M couldn't win it. but they'd be in a position to.
Sure, they'd have the ball with a chance.
Yeah, they'd have the ball with a chance,
Yep,
but they
yep.
couldn't win it, and you knew they couldn't win it.
Yeah.
And there they were with a chance to win it, but you knew they weren't going to.
It's kind of like Wake and us when Wake had 17 and a half tackles for loss and still lost the football game because of Blackman and Auden Tate.
Yeah. Yeah, it was just kind of weird. You were like, you know what? I don't think they're going to win this game, but they'll be in it. They'll have a chance. It'll be an ugly game. There'll be that soured look on Jimbo's face as once again they're 0-for against a ranked team. Yeah, nothing else really stands out.
Heartbroken
about
over the Florida Classic. Heartbroken.
Oh, wait a minute. There was one thing that stood out over the weekend. I failed to mention it. Might it have been that Miami lost yet again at home, this time around again as a double-digit favorite to their little brother in FIU. How about that? Woo, Butch Davis. Double middle fingers to the folks at How about that? Woo. Manny Diaz, you're never going to get over that. I know we lost to you. We suck. We're embarrassing. That's why Willie got fired. But Manny, sir, my God. Miami becomes the only team in the last 40 years to lose 3 times as a 14-point favorite or better in a single season. They lost to Virginia Tech at home, 14-point favorite there. Georgia Tech, they suck, but they beat Miami as an 18.5-point underdog. And, of course, Miami was favored by 21 points over FIU. Get you some. My goodness. The Schadenfreude was strong on Saturday night.
Yeah, that was a good pick-me-up because I was reeling from the 2 defensive scores for Bethune.
Yeah, I'm still pissed about that, too.
You know,
I was going to exclude it from our talking points.
You could get past the pick six.
I'm so tired of this.
You could get past 1 pick six.
Well, the Platinum Bohica is like peeking around from the corner.
I know. That's a Bohica special next year.
It's the Platinum Bohica is on the line next
Yes,
year.
It is.
You can't do it. You can't have it. You cannot get Bohica'd. Platinum Bohica'd. And you surely don't want them turning their eyes towards the Diamond Bohica.
They'd be halfway there.
Sorry, boys, I did not have time to pack.
We got this.
It's right here, guys.
We got this.
I thought I could handle it.
We got this.
Moving doesn't have to be a hassle. Call us first at 2 Men and a Truck. No matter the move, home or business, we'll make it a smooth one.
I forgot something.
We got this.
Receive. Buy a Ryobi One Plus battery kit for just $129 and receive a select Ryobi One Plus tool free. Your choice from cordless drills to saws, even a radio. That'll make one powerful gift come Christmas morning. Actually, 2 powerful gifts. Buy a battery kit, get a tool for free. Only at the Home Depot. More saving, more doing. Valid through December 26th. Items must be scanned at checkout to apply while supplies last.
Hey, Big Bend community. Budget Printing is here for all your printing needs and promotional products. We offer competitive pricing and timely service. And we're not just all about paper. We have a variety of customized products, including t-shirts, koozies, banners, and pens. So when you want your name on it, we've got you covered. Budget Printing. Stop by 1366 Blountstown Street or give us a call, 850-576-3332.
Hi, Chris Kraft for the Kraft Brothers dealerships. My family, like yours, will spend the holiday season eating turkey, exchanging gifts, watching football. But even with the holiday spirit around me, something's bothering me. It's the frustrated car shoppers we meet. They're coming from one of those dealers who advertise payments like $99 a month. And you guessed it, in order to get low payments like that, they're asked to pay a down payment of nearly $7,000. For real value, don't forget Kraft's New For You program. We rolled it out a few years ago, and hundreds of people with dings in their credit are now driving brand new cars. Credit score under 600? No problem. Recent bankruptcy or recent divorce? No problem. Over the years, 3 out of 4 people get placed in a new car with this program. It's not pie in the sky, it's real value, real opportunity. Speaking of real, Nissan has 0% interest on most models and thousands of dollars in dealer cash. Now that's real savings. Buy a car and get money for the holidays. It's Black Friday every day. Real value, real savings at Kraft Nissan.
A Kraft Brothers dealership.
Who
Who's ready for the best wings in Tally and locally brewed beers? Hobbit American Grill is the place to be. They've been voted Tally's best wings again in 2018. Hobbit offers Bingo Mondays, happy hour all-day Fridays with craft beers on tap from all the local breweries. And the Hobbit is your home for all the UFC fights with plenty of high-def TVs for everyone. Be on the lookout for the food truck coming soon with the best lip-smacking wings in town. Hobbit American Grill, celebrating 40 years of serving great food to great friends for good times. For info on their hours and 3 locations, visit them online at myhobbitonline.com.
One of my favorite things about being a member at Orange Theory Fitness is the sense of community. Initially, after taking the tour and seeing the state-of-the-art equipment, I was intrigued. I became convinced even once I researched the science-backed, technology-tracked, coach-inspired workouts, all of that. But what I didn't count on was the support, the sense of camaraderie shown by the members and the coaches. You realize pretty quickly you're not alone. And when you're pushing yourself through barriers and attempting to be your personal best, you can use all the help you can get. And it's there. It's amongst the members and coaches at Orange Theory Fitness. To learn more, go to orangetheoryfitness.com.
AAA Tree Experts and Landscaping has been a Tallahassee staple for over 35 years. But did you know they now offer holiday lighting? AAA holiday lighting services include design consultation, setup, and takedown maintenance and lighting storage. Call them today for all your outdoor holiday lighting needs. 850-385-3319 or visit them online at AAATreeExperts.net. AAA Tree Experts and Landscaping, and now holiday lighting.
Lane's Medical Shop has all of your home medical needs. They carry home oxygen, hospital beds, nebulizers, walkers, wheelchairs, orthotics, diabetic shoes, and all sleep apnea supplies. Lane's also has a weight loss clinic in-house, no appointment necessary, including B12 injections and any prescriptions necessary with the lowest prices around, and delivers to Tallahassee and South Georgia. Located only 40 miles from Tallahassee, go see Blake today, 210 West Main Street, Colquitt, Georgia, 229-758-9111.
This hour of the Jeff Cameron Show is brought to you by Jerry's Cigar Shop, 2810 Shera Road and 2910 Cary Forest Parkway. Online at jerrycigarshop.com.
Sorry, I meant to mention that game was, the Miami loss that is time was played in Marlins Park.
Yeah, it used to be a site to something else, wasn't it?
Yeah,
Marlins Park?
Yeah, imagine that.
I think it was that Virginia Cavaliers victory. The
47-0?
Yeah, they closed down the old place, whatever it was called.
Yeah. That was like the original Piss Palace, the Orange Bowl. When you... I mean, that was a run-down place. But it had tradition. It did. It actually did. And it's near that famous gas station that I always reference, which is still there with the bars over the windows.
Made infamous by Any Given Sunday, right? That was the home stadium for Any Given Sunday and the Miami Sharks.
I forgot about that.
A couple of Trick Daddy videos.
Yeah. Yep. that is correct. Woo! What a year, man. I'll tell you what, man. I am so, I don't know what, flummoxed, I guess. I have not had, and I'm not going to lose sleep over it. I'm just being really straightforward with everybody. I don't care about our game against Florida. What a thing to say.
Sir, is your Knoll card over there?
You can take it.
Oh, my.
No,
if
that's what it means, that's a real indicator again that we are in desperate shape. Desperate shape. That here I am hosting this show, feeling as I do about that game.
Marvin Jones ain't running out of that tunnel.
God. It's just, you're just kind of like, I mean, I don't want to besmirch or disparage anybody that was a good player that doesn't doesn't play to that standard. So by using a far lesser name, I'm not trying to rip the person. It's just that Marvin Jones' standard was like the highest. But, Greg Spires isn't running out of the tunnel either. I mean,
Dan Hicks.
Yeah. Not running out of that tunnel. I mean, we got nothing.
Tank Carradine. Miss old Tank.
Yes.
Man, we had 4 killer defensive ends for one shining moment.
Von Striker!
Right.
Oh, I miss him.
Didn't pan out, did he?
No, it didn't work out in the league, but he was dominant here. Nate Von Striker!
We're hungry to get a win.
I miss him. He showed up in this game.
Oh, remember that?
Swallowed him. Nate Von Striker!
We're hungry to get a win.
All was well on that afternoon until EJ blew the game.
That fifth turnover was a real
the fifth
killer.
one was a toughie.
Yeah. We got through the 4.
Yeah, the fifth one was too much to overcome.
That's what. Well, we were
afternoon.
on the field for about 20, 21 minutes in that first half, and that defense did everything it could to hold on and ran out of gas.
National Football League, and I have to say, I did crack up. Did you see Jerry Jones' comments after their game against New England?
Yeah, I did. Now's the time you
Like,
pick?
What are we doing here, my man?
A road loss to the Patriots? Really? That now's the time? That's the last straw?
Well, that field goal. That's what that was.
Well, yes, I don't know.
It's 13-6 at the 11. You haven't been in the red zone virtually all day long. You ain't getting back against that defense in that weather. This is it, man. And you had a chance at a first down without scoring a touchdown. This is it. You have to go for that. Maybe, every one of us knew he was going to kick a field goal.
Maybe Jason had Cowboys +6. I don't know. I don't know. +6.5.
I mean, that's first of all, the quote, for those of you that didn't see it, from Jerry Jones after a 13-9 loss against New England. Quote, we all saw why we didn't win. It was pretty glaring as to why we didn't get it done. He paused, mentioned that he thought special teams were the difference. To me, special teams is 100% coaching. It's 100% coaching. Well, just say it, Jerry. Say that Jason Garrett is really close to being fired. Just come on, man. What are we waiting on here? I will say, it's a shame you watch a game like that, and I couldn't help but get past all these ridiculous tripping calls. Also, did you feel like they just, I don't know, maybe it was just me, they seemed to summarily dismiss the idea that that was a catch on 4th and 11.
Well, at live speed, it looked like a catch, but then
On the replay, I'm still not sure it wasn't a catch.
I think the way it
understand
bounces, it looks, I mean, that's got to be the ground. That's not an arm. It doesn't, deflect like that.
Looks awfully close to having an arm underneath. The ball's allowed to move. I don't know.
There was one angle I thought that they didn't use primarily that showed it, and you're like, oh, well, unfortunately. Because I was rooting for it. I'm rooting for that drive.
Well, sure. No, and I'm not saying it wasn't. I'm not saying it was a catch. It's just that immediately, like, oh, that's not a catch. Like, well, hold on now. They called it a catch on the field. Let's see if there's enough evidence.
Honestly, I thought after replay 1 and through live speed that it was going to stand as a catch, but then there was one angle. It was maybe even the 4th or 5th one they showed, but they finally found one that to me was enough.
As you mentioned, and as I noted, Buccaneers roll over the Falcons.
Yes, sir.
You know what's weird?
Falcons are happy about it anyway. Falcons fans, better draft position. You're going to fire your coach anyway. This helps you do it.
Yeah, I would think this is ultimately a pretty damn damaging loss. Meanwhile, I'm never again picking the Eagles. I can't do it anymore. Screw them eternally.
You did it one more time.
That's it. They can't beat anybody. I'm done. They play nothing but wimps the rest of the way.
How about your mom's hunch on the Bucs? Good job. That's a great job.
And it wasn't a crazy pick. Jameis always kills the Falcons. He plays really well against them. And after he made one terrible decision after that, it was great. Really. I mean, it's and that first interception is not on him. That's, of course, on Evans. Run a route, man. Run a freaking route. Jags had to be bitterly disappointing. How do you get boat raced by 22 to the Titans, who struggled to score 17 in the game?
You start Nick Foles. They had something.
Good Lord. They did have something. They had a little something. They went away from it. Now they've lost it all. Packers get destroyed last night. Look at San Francisco, 37-8. Got to start talking about San Francisco as a legitimate Super Bowl contender. Their schedule is brutal from here, but they are 100% legit. I think you can almost remove Green Bay from being in the legit category.
Yeah, well, that was comprehensive last night's win.
Thorough, Tom.
Second quarter, you're like, oh, man, I was locked in. I was ready for 3 hours of entertainment.
War. I did. Yeah, I went to bed early.
Yeah.
I said, this is done.
It's unfortunate, but San Francisco is going to be battle-tested by the time they get to the playoffs. They'll know what the hell they are and they're not. And Shanahan looks plenty comfortable coaching up to his strengths, doesn't he? I mean, first of all, how do you let Kittle that wide open down the field? That's crazy. But he's not trying to force feed it to receivers because, back in his Atlanta days, he had an unbelievable set of skill on the outside. He'll find a way.
Because he's a really good coach. And tonight we get the Rams and the Ravens. One would assume at this juncture that the Ravens would go on the road and win this football game. They are favored to do so. But I have a hunch tonight's game is a close one. The Rams need it at 6-4, 3-2 in the division. They have to get this win and give themselves a fighting chance down the stretch. I think they'll show up defensively, and I think that's really the matchup. By the way, we have that game for you tonight, ESPN Radio right here, 97.9. Listen, I'm not going to underestimate Lamar Jackson at this point. But I would say the Rams are equipped up front to be able to force him to have to throw the football, and that's what you have to do now at this point. All these teams facing the Ravens have got to keep him from running the ball. Easier said than done.
Yeah, I have a suspicion tonight's a lower scoring game because if it plays out the way you're talking, that the Rams are going to keep it close and maybe have a chance to win it, it's because their defense rises up and makes a bunch of stops. As a Los Angeles Rams fantasy owner, though, I had to play him this week. And I'm going, oh, God. They're either going to have 15 points or -5. If Lamar does it again, he'll do it big if he's going to do it.
You know who I had this weekend? We don't often on the Jeff Cameron Show break out the bad beats for fantasy football talk. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I had Derek Carr.
Oh, no.
Yep.
No.
Derek Carr action.
Oh, boy. That was on bottom right.
At the Vegas wall?
At the Vegas wall. And it just, every time you looked, there's another score on the board. We get the TV timeout. Finally, the Bucs game is on the house audio. I look over there. I'm like, all right, let's see how Buffalo's doing. Let's see how. Oh, my God, the Jets scored again? This is the thing that's happening. This isn't like a cute 17-3 deficit, nor here comes Oakland rallying.
It was a thorough beating.
It's over at halftime.
Yeah, it was a thorough beating, and the Raiders did. We were waiting on the Raiders to be the Raiders and stop pretending to be a playoff team. There you go. That should do it. 34-3 to the Jets.
But that AFC playoff picture is a total mess. It's a heaping pile of average.
Yeah, well, at least in terms of the wild card and who's getting in and all of that.
Wild card. 6 and 5s, 5 and 6. There's like 12 teams that have a shot.
Patriots moved to 10-1, and because of the Patriots, we're certainly going to give them their just due because that defense is elite. But here's the weird thing: I would think if you're a New England fan, despite a point differential on the year of plus 183, despite the fact that you're putting up staggering numbers statistically on that side of the football, you are gravely concerned about your chances to get back to the Super Bowl at this point. You have to keep winning, obviously, to have home field where they play really well. It's an understatement. In their last 100 games at Gillette, they're 99-1 when having the lead at halftime.
Oh, okay. Even still, I would believe that if they didn't have the lead at halftime, that they are 99-1.
99-1 when they've had the lead at halftime. That's the dumbest damn thing on earth.
I don't know, but
what in the world?
Tom Brady having more wins at that stadium than any other quarterback in Buffalo.
Yeah.
Apparently,
Jim Kelly. Yeah.
Apparently the Browns, after Jim Kelly, but apparently the Browns have a dubious honor like that, where Ben Roethlisberger has the most wins in there.
In Cleveland's history?
I think Baker's within 3 now. That's what I heard today on Lebatard.
Oh, I can't believe that. They had good teams in Cleveland for a while there.
Maybe it's this iteration of them, post-Ravens.
Yeah, post-Ravens, yeah. Because you go way back. No, they had good teams. And whether you're talking about like Brian Sipe or somebody like that, but obviously Bernie Kosar. That can't be. That has to be this current.
It's got to be, yeah.
New England's 10-1, and I don't believe in them. Now, it's because of that offense is so pedestrian. Jesus, it's hard to watch them play offense, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, they got a guy named Harry now. Learned that yesterday.
He caught a
touchdown
touchdown
pass. Who the hell is
pass.
Harry? Yeah, he's
caught a touchdown
pass.
It was a difficult catch.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
That weather is absurd, too.
My niece goes to Boston University, I told you, in getting her master's. And so I called the boys and I go, that's where she is. Enjoy that.
That's why we're staying with an in-state school, son.
Yeah.
At that in-state tuition.
Man, brutal. Yeah, so the AFC, Kansas City is 7-4 and leads the West. In the South, it's the Texans at 7-4. Pedestrian, of course. Baltimore's 8-2, leading the North. And then the New England Patriots, aforementioned, 10-1. They're basically, as we know, a lock to win their division. But I am curious as we start watching these teams jostle because of what's after that. Buffalo's going to get in. It sure looks like at this point. They're 8-3. I doubt anybody cares or notices because nobody believes in them. I will say this. There was a throw yesterday from Allen that was insane. Did you see the bomb on the right side? Now, his arm strength has never been questioned. Its accuracy and his ability to play the position has, but his arm strength certainly hasn't, and it is a throw for the ages. It's a laser of like 65 yards.
Well, there's one thing I'll say about the Bills. Thursday's game in Dallas is really important because they got, like everybody else, 5 games left. All the bye weeks are finally done with, which is nice.
Thankfully.
But it's Bills, Cowboys, followed by Ravens traveling to Buffalo. Play the Bills. Lamar Jackson comes to town.
Good defense against that Ravens offense is fun.
They go to Pittsburgh. They should win that game, but Pittsburgh, Heinz Field can be a house of horrors. They play the Patriots in Week 16, and then Week 17 they got the Jets. So there's an assured win with the Jets, a game you should win against the Steelers, and 3 maybes. So they really could use this one on Thursday to get them in that 10-win projection.
Let's do this before break here. Let's kind of take inventory and define our terms. At this juncture, who is a Super Bowl contender? Not to win it, just to get to the Super Bowl. You ready? Let's go through the teams here.
Yep.
Contender, no contender. Patriots, contender.
Yep.
Buffalo Bills, no contender.
Correct.
Okay. Baltimore Ravens, contender.
Definite contender, yeah.
Pittsburgh Steelers, Cleveland Browns, no contender.
No, but watch out for Cleveland to snake that division or snake that wild card spot, excuse me.
Yeah, can't win the division. Side bonus question. Cincinnati Bengals are now 0-11. They could not beat that version of the Pittsburgh Steelers that started Mason Rudolph and benched him. Mason's terrible, by the way. I mean, he's not an NFL quarterback. My God.
As a sucker 6-point line, wasn't it?
Yes, it was. He's an awful player. Anyhow, Cincinnati Bengals, percentage chance that they go 0-16. Where are you putting it?
Well, I just read something on Twitter last break that said they're going back to Dalton because they really want to win. They want a win, a single win, and they feel like obviously he gives them a better chance.
Well, also because none of the other quarterbacks are any good. Dalton is the best thing they have on that team, and he's not any good. I'm meaning at the position.
I feel like they've got more of a chance than, say, I felt about the Browns a couple years ago. But I got to look at their schedule. I'm assuming they play.
Pull up Cincinnati. Let's go through there. They got another game against Pittsburgh, I'm sure, right? So Houston 7-4, contender, no contender.
Bengals Jets this weekend, man. So there you go.
Boom.
Big game.
Yeah, Jets will win that game.
So they have the Dolphins still remaining on the schedule as well.
I don't know.
So, okay, I'd say 50% chance.
Ooh.
They got a 50% chance of winning a ball game.
I think they're going 0-16, and that's going to be a nightmare for whomever is selected number 1 in the draft. You got to go to Cincinnati. Jesus. What a tough
That's the last we've heard from Joe Burrow.
Yeah, that's brutal. Houston, contender, no contender.
Oh, I'm sorry, that game again.
No.
No, I got a Bill O'Brien thing, man.
I'm not in love with Bill O'Brien.
He's got a
either.
ceiling.
Yeah, no. Kansas City, yes, just because of what they are offensively.
Yeah, it's a puncher's chance, right?
Yeah, puncher's chance. Oakland, no. Chargers, no. NFC, Dallas, no. Eagles, no. Packers,
maybe. Remember, they'll have the 12th man. They'll have an official on their side.
I guess. They're hanging on. They're barely hanging on.
I'll tell you this. If Foles has a bad weekend and the Jags cut him and Philly picks him up, Philly's back on the contender train. Philly's back, baby.
Minnesota, yes.
Definitely, yes.
Saints, yes.
It's critical for the Vikings to win that division, though, and get home field.
Yes,
it's critical.
Well, that helped last night with the Packers losing.
Yes,
They're both 8-3.
Yep.
Saints, yes, because of their defense. Carolina, Bucks, Atlanta, no. San Francisco, yes. Seattle?
Yes. Yeah. They've looked average. They got a big game against Minnesota a week from today. That's the next Monday Night Football game.
Russell Wilson gives them the chance. They're 9-2, and he's too good a player.
They can run the football, too. They play, and Clowney's been out, and he was
on a tear.
That was the takeaway from Monday Night Football last week to me was Clowney he's back.
He's pretty important.
Yeah.
Jeff Cameron Show, 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Right here, guys.
We got this.
I thought I could handle it.
We got this.
Moving doesn't have to be a hassle. Call us first at 2 Men and a Truck. No matter the move, home or business, we'll make it a smooth one.
I forgot something.
We got this.
for only $26,999 during our Dodge Power Dollar sales event. Employee pricing plus everyone qualifies going on right now. Only at Tallahassee Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram, where we're right on the corner and always right on the price. Visit us on the web at TallahasseeDCJ.com. Pricing on in-stock vehicles only, plus tax, tag, and dealer fee with approved credit. See dealer for details.
As the leaves are falling, so are the DeWalt prices at Cornerstone Tool and Fastener. The Build Your Own DeWalt Kit promotion is back. Buy 2 select bare tools and get a DeWalt starter kit at no charge. That's 2 5-amp-hour batteries and charger. And there's more. Purchase a DeWalt drill and impact kit and get an additional 5-amp-hour battery and a free bare tool. Choose from impacts, drills, grinders, and more. That's 3 tools and 3 5-amp-hour batteries exclusively at Cornerstone. 1110 Stuckey Ave and 3269 Crawfordville Highway. Tallahassee location open on Saturdays from 8 a.m. until noon.
Just like football, when it comes to the court of law, you're going to need a solid defense. I'm Michael D. Blank, attorney with the Law Office of Jose Fernandez in Tallahassee. At the Law Office of Jose Fernandez, there is never an upfront fee, and if we don't recover, then you don't pay anything. Our team is dedicated to handling all types of accident, injury, negligence, malpractice, and wrongful death cases. If you're unable to come to us, we can come to you day or night. Call us now, 855-HOSE-305, for your free consultation today. The Law Office of Jose Fernandez. We don't get paid until you do. Offices, Tallahassee, Miami. JRFinjury.com. Go Noles.
Thursdays are Friday Eve, and that's a reason to celebrate. No matter what you're looking for, they've got you covered every Thursday down in College Town. Centrale offers 50% off select pizzas all day, every Thursday. Or you can stop by Township for Taco Thursday. $2 house tacos, $2. Madison Social offers the Social Agreement. You and a buddy can split 1 order of wings, 2 Madso burgers, 2 bourbons, 2 proof Madison Socials, all for just $40. See what they did there? And don't worry about parking. Plenty of spaces available in the parking deck or surrounding lots. Check out all the Thursday College Town deals right now on ThursdaysInCollegetown.com.
GT Electric is Tallahassee's premier state-certified electrical contractor. Locally owned and operated for over 20 years, GT Electric offers a variety of electrical services for residential, commercial, and industrial fields, including upgrades, repairs, replacements, and installation. GT Electric also sells and services power generators for commercial buildings, homes, and construction job sites. Call them today at 421-9002. That's 421-9002. Or stop by gtelectricfl.com.
Need help moving? 2 Men and a Truck Tallahassee provides professional home and business move services, both locally and long distance. For your next move, visit 2men.com or call them at 850-224-2232. 2 Men and a Truck, the movers who care.
The Florida State basketball team has one of the best records in the nation at home the last 3 years. The Tucker Center is a house of horrors for opponents. Don't miss the best ticket in town, the ACC Pack. Come see the nation's best basketball right here in Tallahassee as the Noles host North Carolina, Virginia, Louisville, Syracuse, Notre Dame, Miami, and more inside the Tucker Center. College basketball is taking the capital by storm. Don't get left out. Purchase your ACC Pack today. Call 888-FSU-NOLE or visit Seminoles.com today.
This hour of the Jeff Cameron Show is brought to you by Jerry's Cigar Shop, 2810 Shera Road and 2910 Cary Forest Parkway. Online at jerrycigarshop.com.
This is the Dan Lebatard Show on ESPN Radio.
Stugatz gets there 4.5 hours late, but this is the best part right here.
Better late than never.
Yeah, and comes in and upstages the bride, just pointing at everybody. You owe me $500, you owe me $100. Just makes his way into the room and just totally dwarfs the bride. While, incidentally, wearing jeans and untied sneakers and a shirt that was untucked, looking like the red eye from Vegas.
Miami cocktail.
So next door to where it is that this beautiful venue is, there is a home, and the person in that home emerges to see Stugatz and asks the question, are you okay? The reason he's asking this question is because there is a national radio host in his driveway brushing his teeth.
And the Dan Lebatard Show, weekdays at 10 a.m. on 97.9 ESPN Radio.
ESPN Radio Sports Center.
I'm Christine Lisi. This just in. The Bengals going back to Andy Dalton as their starting quarterback. Cincinnati's lost all 3 games with rookie Ryan Finley under center. Eagles quarterback Carson Wentz has a bruised middle finger on his throwing hand. He's not expected to miss any practice time, putting him on track to play Sunday against the Dolphins. Wentz coming off a 4-turnover performance, his third game of this season with multiple turnovers. One of Wentz's issues is that he's gotten into some bad habits fundamentally, explains ESPN's Tim Hasselbeck.
In terms of how he carries the ball, what happens with the football when he tries to escape, regardless of the stuff around him. And I think there's some legitimacy to the guys around him, not necessarily being, the most talented group at wide receiver. I think they're lacking some speed, some true playmakers there. But that can't get you into bad habits.
Tim Hasselbeck on Golick and Wingo from ESPN's Ed Werder. Even with the intense criticism from owner and GM Jerry Jones after the Patriots loss, the Cowboys will not make any immediate changes to Coach Jason Garrett's staff with a game against the Bills in 4 days.
Vivid Seats, the top ticket source for the live events you crave, now has a loyalty program that allows fans to earn credit back. Go to the App Store or Google Play, download the Vivid Seats app, and enter promo code ESPN25 for 10% off your next order.
Broadcasting live from the Tallahassee Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, Ram, Fiat studios in the capital city of Tallahassee. This is the Jeff Cameron Show on 97.9 ESPN Radio. Man Cave Monday, brought to you by Tallahassee Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, Ram, Fiat. Right on the corner and always right on the price. Check out the latest 2019 inventory at TallahasseeDCJ.com today.
Was the only starter in double figures over the weekend. 13 points, 7 of 7 from the free throw line, 4 assists, 3 turnovers, 2 steals, 26 minutes. The Noles roll easily. Now they'll take on Chicago State. Anthony Poite, by the way, chipping in with 8 points, 3 of 6 from the field, 2 of 4 from beyond the arc, 7 boards, 2 assists. Did turn it over 5 times. This was sort of a theme for Florida State. Every time we got a little bit comfortable, we got sloppy. Noles turned it over a lot in this game. In fact, more than they have in an awfully long time. What was that, 19 turnovers, I believe, for this one?
I feel like, and you got to give him the victories when he can get them. Polite had 5 steals. I think he had 4 or 5 steals.
Yeah, he had 5 steals in 29 minutes. Yeah. Played well. Save for the turnovers. Dom got a start there. 4 points, 1 of 3, 2 of 2 from the free throw line, 4 boards, block shot, 14 minutes. Okay.
3 3-pointers from Malik Osborne, sir. Okay.
Getting there, 9 points, 3 of 7, 3 of 5 from beyond the arc. Those were all of his points.
That's right.
4 boards, 2 block shots in 24 minutes. That's your guy.
Oh, it's my guy.
Patrick Williams, a quiet game for him. Just 6 points on 2 of 6 shooting, 2 for 2 along the free throw line, and 5 boards and an assist, block shot and a steal. They're winning these games comfortably right now against outmatched teams, which is good, and they're figuring things out about themselves. What they got to do now is get healthy because, again, MJ Walker had to sit this one out, did not play. Raekwon Gray sidelined. Those guys have minor injuries. So we shifted the starting lineup here. Malik Osborne went from center to power forward. Excuse me. Dom ended up starting at center. We were a lot bigger up front. Couldn't hit shots early in this game. But from there, we ended up going on that 13-0 run. At one point, I think it was 22-6, and you knew the game was kind of over. But
Western Carolina, this would not be, yes.
Yeah, this was sort of just all right, got it. That game, admittly, was kind of off my radar a little bit. I did not attend this basketball
It's a college
game.
football Saturday, sir.
It is. I couldn't. Look, I paid attention, went back, watched some. I'm not going to lie, did not invest greatly in this game. Once we got up big, I went, okay, we're done here. I don't need to see this.
No, when I rolled up to a local watering hole to watch the Florida Classic, that's about the only time I caught the graphic. Got back and looked at the box score. But, yeah. Yep, no one hurt.
Yeah, man, it did. I really thought they were going to win that game. I almost thought they would win it comfortably. You can't turn it over.
Yeah, wind out of the sails to start, but then you climb all the way back and a fumble kills you.
Florida State, by the way, back on the hardwood there for a second. 2 wins this past week as they were supposed to get them. They still remain outside that top 25. I'm fine. I don't need those rankings. The only thing that bothers me is that Florida is ranked. Of course, Florida State housed Florida in Gainesville. But by all means, make sure Florida's ranked ahead of Florida State. Florida State does not get a lot of time to rest up because obviously they'll be playing tonight, hosting Chicago State in the second round of the Emerald Coast Classic, an exempt tournament which will conclude at the end of this week at Northwest Florida State College in Niceville with a semifinal game against Tennessee on Friday night, followed by a matchup with either VCU or Purdue. By the way, VCU ranked, so that matchup, one of those two teams will be facing 4-1. By the way, Chicago State 3-3 overall. They're 0-3 against Division I opponents. This should be an easy win tonight at the TLC-CC webcast on ACCNX via ESPN.com.
Yeah, you get a real good chance this week, later part of the week, to see where we are heading into ACC play because this is the caliber of opponent that we're going to see both on Friday and Saturday. And you never know, the watch party we have on Saturday at Hangar 38 may carry 2 Knowles games at the same time if we're playing in that championship game.
I like where your head's at. By the way, Chicago State last had a winning season in 2008. Been a tough run. Been a tough road to hoe for Chicago State.
Oh, wait.
They were independent back then. They've had 7 of the last 9 seasons in which they won single-digit games.
2008, if memory serves, was the year that Florida State came back on North Carolina on a Thursday night in football. Remember that?
Long pass down the sideline, speed.
You had Rod Owens, and then
Owens hit in stride with a dandy from Christian Ponder.
You had the wheel route to Bo Relaford.
You had the smash route all the way to that far side where he was on the left hash and threw probably the best pass of his college career that counted outside of the USF game. Yes, I know. We were both going there, which didn't count. I don't know how he made that throw.
I feel like the most important throw, it's fitting for this week, for Ponder's career, was the Rodney Smith throw against Florida after the fake punt.
It's a beautiful throw, too.
That was Justin Bright who came up and made the play on the fourth down.
Nicely done grabbing Justin Bright out there.
Well, got to give him his love for the 1 or 2 plays of significance.
You do.
But we were standing next to each other on the roof that day, and once Ponder delivered a strike to Rodney Smith,
we knew.
That was it.
We knew. And that place, that was the last, golly, that's one of the last times that energy, that flow of energy, it resonated outside the stadium, inside the stadium, on the roof, down on the field later on. I mean, we felt it all that day. Good God.
That was the day I got to play a little prank on Warwick Dunn because he was down there in the sidelines. I watched the first quarter from the sidelines, and we recovered a fumble. I think Xavier Rhodes fell on it, and Warwick Dunn looked over and a little fist pound. And I said, "What are you doing here, man? Aren't you the guy from First Take, 1st and 10?
Did he laugh?
He was incredulous. I'm just kidding, man. I'm a lifelong fan. I'm a Buck and a Knoll. I know who you are. But he was like, what? Yeah, you're the guy from ESPN, too.
Next time we saw Warwick was probably when we were on the sidelines right before losing to Houston in the Peach Bowl.
He was there, wasn't he?
He was
That's
walking
right.
around, and then we walked into the elevator and an oft-told story on the JCS, and we walked right in to see, what's his face? Fat singer with the
CeeLo Green.
Yeah, CeeLo was in the elevator.
Oh, sorry, I'm on the wrong elevator.
Yeah, that was CeeLo. You and I bumping into CeeLo at the game.
He was going to be on the elevator to the top with us, and they took him off. The wrong elevator, CeeLo.
Yeah.
Okay.
I looked over. I'm like, look at freaking CeeLo.
I'm sorry.
He was like up to our waist. Took up most of the elevator up to our waist.
I'm always on the wrong elevator. That's so crazy.
Oh no. Irashafel, warchant.com joins us next.
Sorry, boys, I did not have time to pack.
We got this.
It's right here, guys.
We got this.
I thought I could handle it.
We got this.
Moving doesn't have to be a hassle. Call us first at 2 Men and a Truck. No matter the move, home or business, we'll make it a smooth one.
I forgot something.
We got this.
In Killarn near Fresh Market and on Governor Square Boulevard, or shop online 24/7 at garnetandgold.com. Shop local and go Knowles. One of my favorite things about being a member at Orange Theory Fitness is the sense of community. Initially, after taking the tour and seeing the state-of-the-art equipment, I was intrigued. I became convinced even once I researched the science-backed, technology-tracked, coach-inspired workouts, all of that. But what I didn't count on was the support, the sense of camaraderie shown by the members and the coaches. You realize pretty quickly you're not alone. And when you're pushing yourself through barriers and attempting to be your personal best, you can use all the help you can get. And it's there. It's amongst the members and coaches at Orange Theory Fitness. To learn more, go to orangetheoryfitness.com.
As sports fans, we all know this is the best time of the year. And the best places to catch all the action are at the Corner Pocket Bar and Grill and 7th Hill Tap Room. If you'd like a laid-back atmosphere, the 7th Hill Tap Room is your spot. 24 craft brew taps, plus wine options as well. And when you want to watch the pros, enjoy half off all craft drafts all day on Sundays. So, whether you're feeling the upstairs at the Corner Pocket or lounging down at the 7th Hill Tap Room, your game day is always covered. 2475 Appalachia Parkway, right next to Earth Fair.
This hour of the Jeff Cameron Show is brought to you by Jerry's Cigar Shop, 2810 Shera Road and 2910 Cary Forest Parkway. Online at jerrycigarshop.com.
Come visit the new and exciting Hangar 38. This amazing place is for everyone listening right now. Practice your bowling skills, compete, and have fun. Whether you're a newbie, an all-star, or a beer frame champion, no matter how you roll, you'll find the best place to bowl is at Hangar 38. Hangar 38 is home to over 75 arcade games, so they're sure to have something for everyone. Zeppelin's at Hangar 38 is a premier full-service restaurant and sports bar, and it's also your place for birthday parties and company outings. Tallahassee, what are you waiting for? Come on out to Zeppelin's Hangar 38, 6668 Thomasville Road behind Walgreens.
Not every law firm is the same. For example, you don't hire a divorce attorney to handle a foreclosure. The same goes for your insurance claim. Hire a firm that has the knowledge and experience in handling insurance matters. The Morgan Law Group is dedicated solely to this cause, fighting insurance claims that are underpaid, delayed, or denied. With offices throughout Florida, the Morgan Law Group covers claims for all hurricanes, storms, mold, fires, boats, and even sinkholes. Representing the policyholder, going after the insurance companies. The Morgan Law Group. Offices Miami, Orlando, Naples, and Panama City. Online at policyadvocate.com.
Not an employee or member of a law firm.
Hi, Chris Kraft, and at Kraft Nissan, every day is Black Friday, so I want to help people save money on their next car. Yet hardly a week goes by when a customer doesn't complain that they just came from a dealership advertising crazy payments, like $99 a month. You know the ones. In my world, that is purely fake news, because in order to get low payments like that, you need to put down something like $6,000. We think you're smart enough to know when someone isn't telling you the whole story. Kraft Nissan has a true sign and drive. Nothing down, not $1. Sign and drive a new Altima SR or Frontier SV for just $375 a month. Or drive away in a new Rogue for only $395 a month. Literally, you just sign and drive. Incentives are at an all-time high. There's thousands of dollars in dealer cash. Kraft Nissan can actually put you in a new car and put holiday cash in your hands. Black Friday savings you simply can't find from any other dealer, anywhere. Because like always, if your car doesn't have the Kraft tag on it, you paid too much. Way too much.
48-month lease through NMAC with approved credit.
Driving every day from the Tallahassee Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram Fiat Studios. This is 97.9 ESPN Radio, WTSM, Woodville, Thomasville, Tallahassee.
ESPN Radio Sports Center.
I'm Christine Lisi. This just in. The Bengals going back to Andy Dalton as their starting quarterback. Cincinnati's lost all 3 games with rookie Ryan Finley under center. Eagles quarterback Carson Wentz has a bruised middle finger on his throwing hand. He's not expected to miss any practice time, putting him on track to play Sunday against the Dolphins. Wentz coming off a 4-turnover performance, his 3rd game of this season with multiple turnovers. One of Wentz's issues is that he's gotten into some bad habits fundamentally, explains ESPN's Tim Hasselbeck.
In terms of how he carries the ball, what happens with the football when he tries to escape, regardless of the stuff around him. And I think there's some legitimacy to the guys around him, not necessarily being, the most talented group at wide receiver. I think they're lacking some speed, some true playmakers there. But that can't get you into bad habits.
Tim Hasselbeck on Golick and Wingo from ESPN's Ed Werder. Even with the intense criticism from owner and GM Jerry Jones after the Patriots loss, the Cowboys will not make any immediate changes to Coach Jason Garrett's staff with a game against the Bills in 4 days.
Vivid Seats, the top ticket source for the live events you crave, now has a loyalty program that allows fans to earn credit back. Go to the App Store or Google Play. Download the Vivid Seats app and enter promo code ESPN25 for 10% off your next order.
Broadcasting live from the Tallahassee Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram Fiat Studios in the capital city of Tallahassee. This is the Jeff Cameron Show on 97.9 ESPN Radio. Man Cave Monday, brought to you by Tallahassee Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram Fiat. Right on the corner and always right on the price. Check out the latest 2019 inventory at TallahasseeDCJ.com today.
Hour number 2, Jeff Cameron Show, 97.9 ESPN Radio. Hello. Thanks for tuning to it. I'm Jeff. That's Tom. We're online, ESPNTallahassee.com. All right, rivalry week. Trying, Tom. Trying. Nope, not happening. Maybe talking to Ira will help out. We're online, ESPNTallahassee.com. Hello, YouTubers and Periscopers. I hope you're well.
Is it as helpless as Clemson? Clemson week?
No, but the Clemson game's in the middle of the year, and they're not the traditional rival that a Florida is or a Miami is. So that Clemson game can sometimes certainly mean more as it pertains to the national stage. But since we're not any good, that game hasn't mattered all that much in some time. And I don't get the feels for that game the way that I do for Florida State Miami, Florida State Florida. So what's more disconcerting about feeling nothing for this Florida State Florida game is that this is the rivalry. This along with Miami. It's for all of us that grew up going to these games or going to school here and remember all the classic battles, and to just feel indifference about it. It doesn't feel right, but I'm not going to sit here and tell you that I'm locked in and ready to roll and excited about it, because I'm not. I just don't. There's nothing there.
I'll be that guy on Saturday. This is the one that matters to me the most. I'm just hoping for a miracle. 3 fumbles in the first half for Florida, and there we go. 17 all at the break.
3 fumbles, 3 scoop and scores.
That's what you need. Well, 17, so we got tackled inside the 5.
Well, we won't make the field goal, so you need him to get in the end zone here. So, yeah, that's JCS at 979ESPNradio.com if you want to email. Twitter, it's at JCameron Show. Don't forget about the WTSM app. That works as well for all your mobile devices. Let's bring him in. We do every Monday. My man, Ira Schafel, the website, warchant.com. Hello, Ira. How are you, buddy?
I'm good, Jeff. How are you?
I'm okay. I got to tell you, I always do take a look each morning when I wake. As I begin my show prepping, I look at warchant.com, and you're a writing Jesse these days. You been able to put Corey Clark to work at any point? I've got...
Man, that's a sore subject, Jeff. That is a sore subject right there.
I shouldn't have done it.
He's back from Biloxi, and he's working today. I can tell you that. He's gonna be writing some stories starting this afternoon. You'll see some Corey Clark content on the website.
Well, it's not that I was longing for it. It's just that I happened to note as I was on warchant.com, as written by Ira Schafel. Then there's another one, Ira Schafel. Then there's another one, Ira Schafel. And I went, Jesus, anybody else working over there these days? My man Ira's holding it down.
Trying to be a good boss, letting everybody else take the bye week off. And so we did that, and but now we're back in the saddle. We're back in the saddle.
All right. Well,
but hey, I'm not to jump ahead of you. I was just listening to you and Tom talking about the Florida game. The difference, and it dawned on me while I was listening to you guys talk, because before the Clemson game, I was one of the people that thought, well, if they get some pressure on Lawrence, if Clemson's not really ready, if they're not really focused, if this happens, if that happens. But the problem is, that was 6 weeks ago? We then that game happened. If this Florida game was that week, I would have thought the same thing. But we saw what happened when they played against a really good team. And so now, it's a totally different, not to say Florida's as good as Clemson, but I think we all realize now that Florida's Florida State is not nearly what we thought maybe they could have been 6 or 7 weeks ago.
Well, and also they didn't play well the last time we saw them. Alabama State game, the score is kind of misleading. I thought Florida State played terribly in that game. And so the last time I watched us was against an awful team, and we didn't play well. And so now you're going on the road against a good team, and I just don't know what to expect. I suspect I do know that they'll play hard. It is a rivalry game, and Odell will elicit that sort of passion. But they're just not good enough, and certainly defensively, the last couple times we've watched them, it's just been, they don't look like they're going to be able to match up real well here. And I don't know that it's any more damaging. Look, you've already fired the coach. We're already in the midst of a coaching search. Just feels like playing out the streak. And I understand for people listening to us that go back 40 years or more, they never feel that way about this rivalry. But I really do, as I am fond of saying, feel a bereft of hope sort of sense about this game. I just don't think Florida State can win it. And I'm tired of being on the wrong end of lopsided affairs against teams that are any good, especially if they happen to be called rivals. And I think that's what's going to happen on Saturday.
Yeah, it's hard to envision the path to victory because again they're not world beaters on offense.
No.
Their offensive line is not great, but the problem is their quarterback gets rid of the ball really quickly. So it's not like you're just going to be able to tee off on him, even if you could get much of a pass rush, which FSU hasn't done a great job of getting the pass rush. And then where they are really good on offense is the tight end is outstanding. The running back's really good, and Florida State's not very good at linebacker. So those are not good situations. And then you look on the other side of the ball, and this offense has not played very well against good defenses. It's done pretty well against bad defenses, which is an improvement from last year. But against good defenses, it hasn't done much at all, and they're going to see a good defense this weekend. And then Florida still is pretty good in special teams too. So again, barring just a rash of turnovers, it's just hard to paint the picture, and you can't go into a game predicting a rash of turnovers.
You can't, and what it does do is it turns all of our attention to the coaching search. And I know you wrote an article, one of several. Wild Saturday shows opportunity awaits FSU with the right hire. And I was impressed that you were able to conjure up this rather sizable story, lengthy story, after a bye week. But I did enjoy it, and you did kind of, you poked the flame there and kind of got us the embers anyhow, and thinking about what the possibilities are. And I think that's where much of this fan base, that's where their head lies. Anything new on the coaching search beyond what we've all heard on the periphery, which is just that this is playing out in a pretty much a predictable way, that we're going to get an answer, first week of December? Or are you hearing a buzz that maybe something else is going on?
Yeah, no, I mean, every couple hours probably, there are periods where you don't hear much at all, and then there'll be like a flurry of activity. I mean, I think that, I still think it's going to come from the group of names that we've been talking about, anywhere from, James Franklin to, Matt Campbell to Mike Norvell to, obviously Mark Stoops is out of it now, but, I think it's going to come from that group. I don't think it's going to be somebody from way out in left field. But the problem is really any scenario you talk about, and you hear from, people that, feel like they've got pretty good information or can make a compelling argument at least, there's a reason to kind of shoot most of them down. And so, we just find this, I think we all find ourselves in this where, until we know for sure, it's hard to get too excited about anybody, because there are people who would tell you that it's going to be Matt Campbell. There are people who tell you it's going to be Bob Stoops still. There are people who tell you it's going to be James Franklin. There are people who tell you that it's going to be Mike Norvell. I mean, I don't, and it's hard to know exactly which way it's going to go. I don't know. We've been hearing for the last day or two that FSU feels really good about what they're going to do, and they kind of narrowed it down to the person they want to get. But I don't know if you can 100% believe that. So it's really been a hard, obviously, it's been a hard story to get your fingers on.
Pretty frustrating. Florida State wins a game that they're supposed to win, obviously, over St. Francis, and looked rather sloppy doing it with the 19 turnovers, but different starting lineup. I wanted to ask you real quick, how's MJ Walker and Raekwon Gray? I know they got minor injuries, or as it's been described, but anything new on when they'll be back?
Leonard Hamilton said after the game that he thought both of them would be back pretty soon, and he thought one of them might be back tonight. He didn't specify which one. My guess would be MJ Walker, but I'm not 100% sure on that. But it sounds like both of them will be back soon. You just really want them back for, obviously, for this week of practice. They're not going to need either one of them tonight. Chicago State is awful. But, if you get them on the court, that would be great. Just kind of, again, just the whole point of this stretch of the season is really to refine some of the rotations and, get a feel for exactly who plays well with who and chemistry and those types of things. So for the most part, they've been able to do that. They've been able to get some of these young guys in. I thought Saturday, or one of the more impressive things was, Balsa Koprivica, I don't know how to pronounce
you
that.
Did it.
But
there you go.
The freshman center, I thought it was the second game in a row where he looked like he's got a lot of energy. There's a lot of upside there. And then, Wyatt Wilkes shot the ball well, they seem to want him out there in that role as a shooter. And, if he can start knocking down threes, we all know that this FSU program, if there's been one knock on them for the most part the last few years, it's shooting the three ball, a consistent three ball shooter. And Hamilton thinks Wilkes could be that guy or at least contribute in that role. So there's still, positive signs. But, yeah, they need to get those guys back because, obviously this weekend they're going to take a huge step up in competition with Tennessee, and then on Saturday they'll play either Purdue or Virginia Commonwealth.
Yeah, I was going to say, you got a chance. If VCU wins, you have a chance to go from playing Tennessee, top 20 team, to another top 20 team in VCU. I know Purdue's not ranked right now, but you got back-to-back games after some cupcakes here in which you'll be playing ranked teams. You can find out just exactly where they are in this process, but not when you don't have your starting lineup out there consistently. So that's why I was asking about MJ. All right, well, you're making that trip, or is Corey making that trip, or are you both going down to Gainesville, sir?
Oh, we're both going, buddy, whether he likes it or not. We're both going, and we'll be heading down there on Saturday, and we'll see, man. I think that it's, I do, again, I don't know that Florida. I don't think Florida's world beaters. I mean, I don't want to make it sound like Florida State's going to play, one of the best 5 or 10 teams in the country this Saturday, because I don't know if I believe that. But I just think it's a tough matchup. So, but we'll definitely be there covering it.
Unfortunately, they're all tough matchups these days. Tom, you were going to say something?
I got one question for Ira. Rest stop or busy bee? What you doing?
You know what, man? It's we'll never do a rest stop if I'm in the car, unless Corey just pulls over and will not. If he wrestles me for the steering wheel, I'm not the rest stop guy. So busy bee all the way. I don't know about on the way there though. The only problem with the busy bee is I don't really need a rest stop. I don't need to stop. 90 minutes into a drive.
I was going to say, good Lord, you're practically there. You don't need to stop at all. You guys are men. Fill up that gas tank and ride.
They do have nice bathrooms, though. And Corey, Corey's got to go a lot.
Yeah, That's true. He's kind of weak that way. All right, brother. I'll talk to you later.
See you guys.
All right. That's IrishFellWarChant.com. Yeah, he brought up the matchup that scared me. That Kyle Pitts kid is a pretty good player for Florida. We won't cover him.
One of the original times in the rest stop argument of yesteryear. I was in the car for one of those stops on the way to Gainesville.
Well, there's no compelling case to make for a rest stop.
Right. I agree.
There isn't. I mean, there's no compelling case to make a stop at a rest stop. Now, unless you have an emergency on your hands. Suddenly you've been hit, you got to go to the bathroom.
Well, now Jamie likes them because the bathrooms are guaranteed to be clean.
Well,
and that's a different issue for women than it is
men. I'm talking about you and me in a car. We're not doing that.
Oh, man, we're straight shot guys.
Yeah,
man.
well, first of all, we don't stop. Tom and I literally, we hunker down. I'm always driving, and we go way too fast to where we need to be. And you got to stop for gas. That's about it.
It's probably the best part of your alpha personality is that you must drive the car and you must drive it to get us there ahead of the Google Map suggestion by a significant margin.
I have a personal war with the Google Map suggestion.
Yep, it's wonderful.
Their estimation of how fast I get there and will get there compared to when I do get there is always way off. And I click it. I start it right when we get going. Say we're moving. Say we're riding. I see that time. I know how fast I'm going to get there. But I play the same game every time. I'm a child. I click it. It tells me the time, and I go, oh, Google, please.
2:20 p.m. my ass.
What are you talking about? We'll be there by 1. We are going to be no later than 1:15 unless we encounter some sort of traffic. And even then, I'm getting off on the side roads. We're not doing this. I don't do idling, the not moving thing real well. I'll take every damn scenic road imaginable so that the wheels are moving.
Yeah, we do that for the Charlotte trip. It's nice.
I like
those
the
back
Charlotte
roads.
trip. Yeah.
You go by Ben Roethlisbergerville, USA.
Isn't that Milledgeville?
I think it is. Yeah.
And every time we do it, we go, why was he here?
Why was he here?
What were you doing?
How do you get here?
Why were you here? What were you thinking,
What
sir?
car did he take to get there, first of all? Like, because, I mean, he's got to travel in style. So did he rent, like, a pimped out Escalade, and then that's what they drove hours away from
It's
Atlanta?
just bizarre.
Like, how do you get there?
I have no idea. You saw this week, by the way, back to our game really quickly, that they were popping in music and sound all week long. I have a feeling that atmosphere is going to be dead.
The Florida game?
Yeah.
Oh, no. It's a 7:30 kick. They're not.
Well, you're right. I'm sorry. 7:30. 7:30, they'll be hyped. But we've gone down there when both these teams have been on the wrong end of a stretch of play where the other's not playing well and the other one's really strong. And we went down there with Jameis, obviously, and they knew they were going to be on the wrong end of an ass kicking, and they were on the wrong end of an ass kicking. Well, the right end from our perspective.
Yeah.
But that place was dead. I mean, once we got up by 2 scores or 2 scores, it was silent the rest of the way. And then we've gone down there before when Florida State was obviously in the lost decade when we weren't really good, when Florida had emerged as an elite team.
Oh God, yeah.
I mean, I remember wearing that and going into that stadium, and they weren't that loud because they knew it was a foregone conclusion.
Well, I would think though that they're not used to beating us all that much this decade, so they would savor it, right?
Yeah, you always savor a win over your arch rival. I mean, listen, Miami's not had a good year, but they're right now the win that they can hang their hat on is the win over us. And we don't have any such win, and we won't have one this year.
They've beaten us twice since 2010. Like, if I were them,
Florida, you
mean? Yeah. I'd probably enjoy it a little bit. Yeah.
That's what you got to keep telling yourself in your mind as you get set to go down there. They've only beaten us twice since 2010.
There you go.
Yeah, they've been on the wrong end of it. But this is good.
It may take a minute. Yeah. This one may take a minute. It's like, speaking of Google Maps, when it's red everywhere, every route. Like, well, you know what?
That hurts the soul. That's a toughie.
It's like
all roads.
Exit 216, Georgia. Where, what the hell is it? That's the place I had to take my car when it broke down.
I remember what you're talking about. I can't remember. Yeah, it's the worst.
That Nissan guy was awesome. Brian Griggs, never forget him. They were open on Labor Day. I had to get down here to do the Ole Miss Florida State pregame show with you.
Really do love that you love that guy. Have you sent him a letter?
I did.
Okay.
I brought him station gear when I went back up to take the rental car.
Nicely done.
Yeah,
there
he's
you
a nice
go.
guy.
Yeah. It's Jeff Cameron Show, 97.9 ESPN Radio.
To pack.
We got this.
It's right here, guys.
We got this.
I thought I could handle it.
We got this.
Moving doesn't have to be a hassle. Call us first at 2 Men and a Truck. No matter the move, home or business, we'll make it a smooth one.
I forgot something.
We got this.
Further, from restaurant to retail, we have the experience to work with you. At T-Spark Enterprises, we are ready to be a part of your vision and build a space that exceeds your expectations. Whether you're looking for design build or build from your own design, give us a call today for a free consultation. As the owner of T-Spark Enterprises, I guarantee when it comes to your business space, we only provide picture-perfect results.
Call 850-766-1340. T-Spark Enterprises, roofing and construction services. T-Spark, TSparkConstruction.com.
License number CGC 1525336.
AAA Tree Experts and Landscaping has been a Tallahassee staple for over 35 years. But did you know they now offer holiday lighting? AAA holiday lighting services include design consultation, setup, and takedown maintenance and lighting storage. Call them today for all your outdoor holiday lighting needs. 850-385-3319 or visit them online at AAATreeExperts.net. AAA Tree Experts and Landscaping, and now holiday lighting.
This is Jesse's O'Reilly Auto Parts story.
As a nurse, not making it to work was not an option. But driving through the snow with my wiper blades struggling, I just didn't feel safe. So I pulled into O'Reilly Auto Parts, and before I knew it, an employee was offering to install the wiper blades on my car. I got to stay out of the snow for a moment, and I still made it to work on time.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Win an ultimate fan cave experience. Text Fan Cave to 66555 and enter to win a $1,500 prize giveaway from Bud Light and Anheuser-Busch beverage distributor Tri-Eagle Sales. Win a 50-inch flat screen TV, refrigerator for your ice-cold Bud Light, and more. Text Fan Cave to 66555 or visit trieaglesales.com. Bud Light, famous among friends. Must be 21 or older. Please drink responsibly. A message from local beverage distributor Tri-Eagle Sales.
One of my favorite things about being a member at Orange Theory Fitness is the sense of community. Initially, after taking the tour and seeing the state-of-the-art equipment, I was intrigued. I became convinced even once I researched the science-backed technology track, coach-inspired workouts, all of that. But what I didn't count on was the support, the sense of camaraderie shown by the members and the coaches. You realize pretty quickly you're not alone. And when you're pushing yourself through barriers and attempting to be your personal best, you can use all the help you can get. And it's there. It's amongst the members and coaches at Orange Theory Fitness. To learn more, go to orangetheoryfitness.com.
Sports fans, while you're rooting for your team this fall, show off your loyalty with Budget Printing. Budget Printing offers a variety of printing services and promotional items for you to show off your team pride, including koozies, t-shirts, banners, even hats and blankets. So while you're cheering for your team in the stands or in the comfort of your home, choose Budget Printing. Budget Printing, stop by our location on 1366 Bluntstown Street in Tallahassee or give us a call at 850-576-3332.
Hey, Jeff, what's going on, man?
Hello, Eddie. How the heck are you, buddy?
I'm okay. I guess we got to do this commercial.
Time for the bantering to begin.
Yeah, but you know what, Jeff? I want something different now.
You don't want to banter anymore?
I enjoy the banter. I do. But I want theme music, Jeff. Gordo's needs theme music.
Gordo's, the restaurant, the delicious food and the people and the atmosphere. Gordo's, not you personally, but Gordo's.
Yes,
I like
Gordo's, not me. I mean, of course, I would love to have people following me around playing music all the time.
Especially at Gordo's.
It's always in my head. But I need something for Gordo's. I need to have something special, something that, you know, heck, the King of the Hill has his own theme music. The Kids in the Hall. Why not me? Why not Gordo's?
Why not Gordo's? All right, I guess I'm going to be looking for some theme music.
You mean you're going to have Tom looking for some theme music?
Yeah, I heard that.
Yep, get on it, Tommy. Gordo's, bringing the flavor and flair of Cuban food to Tallahassee since 1996.
You're locked in with the Jeff Cameron Show on 97.9 ESPN Radio.
You know, I tried last week, Tom. I talked to you about it. I brought it up. I was so sure we were going to be clear and free of an Alabama presence in the college football playoff. But I also knew enough to know that the Pac-12 can never get it right when they have it laid before them. It's still not over. But, man, Oregon, you dumbasses.
Doing what the Pac-12 does.
Here we go. We're all on board the Pac-12 playoff train, a projected championship game which would have featured number 7 Utah and an elite Oregon club. But no. All you got to do is beat 5-5 Arizona State. 5-5, sorry-ass Arizona State. And I was worried about it. I even tried to put a little mojo in Oregon's corner by picking them with the number. I gave it. But you know what? Things are different this time. You guys are going to do the right thing. You're going to win that game because you're a lot better than Arizona State. Most teams are. You're going to steamroll them. This will not be a competitive game, and you will cruise on in to that Pac-12 championship game. And I don't care who wins that Pac-12 championship game, just as long as we have these two teams in the top 10 when they face one another. The winner has an extra win and a conference championship, and they're going to get in. Now, who knows? Who knows? Utah's got to do it, but they're going to lose to Oregon, and the Pac-12 once again.
Well, Oklahoma's back in play. And if the debate is, assuming, of course, Georgia does not beat LSU in the championship game, which I don't think that's a sure thing that LSU is going to win. I think it's at least competitive enough that it warrants our attention. But Oklahoma with a healthy quarterback versus Alabama that doesn't have its starting quarterback, it's an interesting debate. Oklahoma, in that example, of course, would be a conference champion.
This is tough. I got to be honest with you. Most people would expect me to tell you that Oklahoma should get in. I watch a lot of Oklahoma football, man. They're not good at quarterback against teams that can defend. They would lose to Alabama.
Right now, Alabama without Tua.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. I think they would. I hate to say
that.
They
probably would because of familiarity factor, too. You know,
I just think that
Saban could scheme against him.
Well, but yeah, and the problem is you saw it in the Texas game. I mean, there's points that he's just leaving out on the field, man. He can't make those throws. Saban would keep him in the pocket and make him make throws. He lost his starting job to Tua for that reason, because he couldn't make throws consistently from the pocket against teams that made him do that. Now, he's a very, very, very good college quarterback. He's a college quarterback. That's what he is, and he's a really good one. And he's a better runner than most any college quarterback because he's bigger, and he's like a running back. But I have a sense that Alabama would make him sit in there and throw the football, and that's not always a pretty sight these days. So I don't know. I hope Utah just goes ahead and wins out. Let's go. Give your Pac-12 champion a...
Does your opinion on Ohio State-Michigan change at all after the performance this past weekend? That the game might be more interesting than, say, we thought a month ago?
Yeah, it's much more interesting than we thought it was going to be. There's no doubt about that. I think Michigan's defense will give them a fighting chance. If Fields doesn't turn the football over, they're going to romp.
Yeah, that fumble going in is killer.
That changes the whole game. They're about to romp, but then that flipped the script with the quickness.
So if Ohio State loses to Michigan, obviously they're still 8-1 in conference, and Michigan is 6-2. So that Ohio State has clinched a spot in the Big Ten championship game.
Sure.
They lose to Michigan and they win the Big Ten championship. Are they still in? Are they still scot-free? Does this game mean that they could be bounced out of the playoff this weekend if they lose? I think
so. If it's coming down to, this is going to be interesting, right? If it comes down to them or Alabama, I think they get in.
So in a way, outside of a Georgia over LSU outcome, which means that you get two SEC in.
Right. Let's assume LSU wins out and Clemson wins out. Those two are in. We know that. Mm-hmm. Ohio State wins the Big Ten. Even if they lose to Michigan, they're in.
Interesting.
They're definitely in.
It's just an interesting wrinkle in the playoff format, that in the playoff world, that a game like this one, really good game, huge one, noon kickoff this weekend, actually doesn't matter to Ohio State in terms of the big prize.
It might, though. I mean, you don't want to take that risk, but it probably doesn't. It probably doesn't. Yeah, I think Ohio State would get in. That's interesting there, because and then you have to have a fourth team, and at this point, Alabama would be a strong candidate to get in. It's Utah is the other, that if they can win Pac-12, have an extra win.
I don't know. That'll be interesting. The playoff. This is where the playoff committee decisions are interesting, and to see what the rankings are this week relative to each other, because Alabama's playing a decent enough Auburn team that.
First of all, they got to beat Auburn, so let's go with that.
Well, I think Auburn's going to win this weekend, though, right? Because Gus is on the outs, so he's got to save his job. So that means they're going to win.
Utah is, of course, right there. If they are a conference champion with 12 wins, they're already a top 6 team, top 7 team. And Alabama doesn't play in the SEC championship game and doesn't win their division. I know in the past it hasn't mattered. I have a suspicion that they're going to want to write this, and they'll put Utah in.
Well, but, okay, Utah would be a 12-win conference champion, so would Oklahoma. Is Utah really, do you think they get the vote in over Oklahoma? I mean, the Pac-12.
Utah's loss is a road loss to USC without their best player. Oklahoma's loss is to Kansas State. I'm putting Utah in.
Okay. It's a tough sell. That's a tough sell to me.
Well,
because Oklahoma will get another crack at a Baylor team that'll be high enough in the standings. So it's not like the Big 12 championship game is just a nothing game. Like, say, the ACC championship. Not the same thing.
What stinks here really is, well, first of all, a couple of things happen that are good for Utah if you're trying to make the case. Southern Cal beating UCLA and getting into that top 25 now. That's you lost to a top 25 team on the road. So you no longer have really a bad loss. At the time, it was going to look like a bad loss. And the committee has said that they take into account mitigating factors. So they take into account, two of their three running backs were out of that game. So they look at that, okay? And then, Kansas State is Kansas State. They're not very good. And Oklahoma has had a 1-point win over Iowa State. They lost to Kansas State. They haven't looked good. They had that miracle comeback. Well, it was a great comeback against Baylor. But they have not looked overwhelmingly good in their own conference. We can say that. But what is fair also to say is that if you're an Oklahoma fan, you can make the argument you deserve to get in, just like a Utah fan can. And the truth is, this is a judgment call by a committee. This is not the way you would like to see this thing play out ideally. It's not, this is the problem college football has always had. They don't settle it. This is my opinion versus your opinion, and there are mitigating factors, but really the argument I'm going to make is a similar argument to the one you're going to make. Who's right? I don't know.
Meanwhile, there's Clemson, and they might just be the best team in the country because they got their act together offensively speaking. That defense is going to travel.
Well, they'll kill South Carolina this weekend, and yeah, man, Clemson very quietly just went about the business of beating the bejesus out of everybody they played after they had their scare. They had their 1-point scare against North Carolina. You had people talking about them as if they weren't a good football team. And now they're beating people by 40 every week. Nobody talks about them. That's fine. They probably like it that way. I know this. You're not going to want to play them. You want to set the matchup so that you're not one of those. Now where you're ranked really does matter.
Well, that's Georgia and LSU. I'm sorry, Ohio State and LSU.
Yeah.
Ohio State, Clemson, semifinal game.
How about that?
That's what we're looking at.
Woo! Give me that all day. If LSU beats Texas A&M this weekend, which they should, and then turns around, how about Jimbo this weekend? How about my man after the game challenging his players?
Oh, yeah. That's
I told him they've got to want it more.
7-5. Here we go.
Yeah, well, and I'll give you a pass on 7-5 because the schedule's brutal. You haven't beat a ranked team, but can we stop blaming your players?
You know what, though? I have it wrong because if Ohio State wins out, they'll probably leapfrog LSU, even with an LSU win over Georgia in the SEC title game.
That's tough. I don't know.
So then you'd get, either way, it's Clemson either against LSU or Ohio State. Both those games would be, just unbelievable.
Let me ask you this. I get that Clemson's taking on South Carolina and say they hang 58 on them and win that game going away. And Ohio State, who played a closer than necessary game against Penn State this past weekend, because of the turnovers. What if they turn around and eke out a win against Michigan? At some point, does Clemson jump Ohio State?
No. Can't do it.
Okay.
I'm not saying, listen, in my personal rankings,
Yeah. Well,
Clemson is a really strong candidate
here,
but
they played nobody. I got it. Because of the conference, I got you.
You just can't do it. Virginia Tech has been a nice little story, but they're not going to provide enough gravitas in the ACC championship game to get respect enough that Clemson should jump Ohio State. Considering Ohio State's finish to the schedule would be Penn State, Michigan, and a ranked Wisconsin team on the other side.
Yeah.
That's hard to beat, resume-wise.
LSU, man, it's funny because they keep saying that LSU is going to get surpassed, and I just have a hard time.
They would if they don't this week, which I think they might already get past this week. If they don't this week and Ohio State beats Michigan, then they certainly will be passed before the championship games. But the question is the Big Ten championship game important enough to Ohio State to fortify the ranking? Like if LSU was to wax Georgia in Atlanta, would that be enough for LSU to hop
back over?
Right,
because it really matters right now.
Yeah.
I think you would have to seriously consider it. Look, I got it. The road win against Texas is not great anymore. Texas, Tom Herman. If I'm a Texas, I keep bringing this up. My man.
It's a spiral. It's a spiral over there. Yeah. It's a great town.
They were sure they hired the right guy.
They were. We all were. We're like, well, they did what they had to do. Got their hands dirty to get that dude out of Houston.
This informs the discussion surrounding whatever we do. It's kind of like
you think you know.
You think you know, but there you go. That Texas team's
5-time national champion Mark Stoops could have been. He could have been.
So anyhow, Texas. They beat Texas earlier in the year. I'm going through their schedule. Obviously, they get the 2-touchdown win over Florida. Boat race, Mississippi State. Win against Auburn. Win at Alabama. They get A&M this weekend and eventually Georgia. That's pretty weighty, man. That's a pretty weighty schedule that you will have navigated undefeated. I'd have them number one. I would not put Ohio State ahead of them.
I think honestly these last couple of performances do matter. I think they do. Because the thing is, for LSU, you got to challenge yourself to rise up and play the Georgia game. They win this weekend. It doesn't matter if they win the SEC title or not. They're in the playoff.
But it does to people in the SEC, and they'll care deeply. They want to win that.
I'm sure they do. Yeah, because how often do they get a crack
Alabama,
at it? Right. But also, humanity does exist there because Georgia is playing for its playoff life. I mean, you're being tested there.
Oh, no doubt.
Georgia, it's not like Florida's, the McElwains are showing up there and they can't do anything but, finish maybe inside the top 15. Georgia will have a playoff spot on the line.
Just to do this, to talk about who should be number one, who, again, subjective to some extent. All right, so Ohio State, if you want to include impressive wins, we're going to look at that, I guess. Cincinnati, the best of the non-Power 5, 42-0, beat their ass. They beat from there. I mean, am I giving you a lot of love for beating Indiana and Nebraska? No. Michigan State's terrible. Northwestern is awful. Wisconsin's okay. I'll give you a win over. Okay. Maryland and Rutgers prior to this 28-17 win against Penn State. If you look average against Michigan, I know they dominated so thoroughly early in the year when they won against FAU 45-21, shut Cincinnati out 42-0, beat Indiana 51-10, 76-5 Miami of Ohio, 48-7 Nebraska, 34-10, 52-3. These are the scores. These are lopsided affairs again. But Michigan State stinks. Northwestern stinks. Nebraska stinks.
I agree. But it's just it's hard because that's a 2-month reputation you're trying to change in 2 weeks' time. And these are humans on the committee.
I'm making the case for LSU.
LSU to be. So we get Ohio State Clemson in the semifinal. That's what you want.
What a great game. And then we're going to have LSU, who's earned the number one spot, taking on Utah, and that's a whitewashing.
Oh, well, we always get one of those at minimum, right?
Yeah.
I actually, honestly, I'd take Clemson all day if they're playing Ohio State. Field's accuracy down the field is it's hot and cold.
I think it's a good game.
You give Venables a month to scheme for that, Clemson would be fine. Now, LSU and Clemson would be.
Ooh,
oh, my God.
Let's get it on.
Yes.
Yeah, that's a good game. I'm excited about that.
How about a Georgia upset in the SEC Championship? So you get Georgia and Ohio State and Clemson LSU.
Right off the bat.
Right off the bat.
Well, I think given where we're located.
Because that Georgia defense is
really good.
I mean, that's a nightmare to prepare for.
It's an elite defense, no doubt. All over the field. It's incredible. Which is why they have a shot to beat LSU. The people of this region like the way you're talking. You get that upset, and you're going to get 2 SEC teams in. Neither is Alabama.
Right. You get the battle of the Death Valleys.
Yeah, and then, Ohio State gets in, and Clemson gets in. Everybody's like, okay, we're good here.
And it's Fields versus Georgia, man. It's Fields versus Kirby.
And the unfortunate thing for Utah is that's a real physical team that runs the football and plays great defense. But the narrative in the South, and I'm part of it, is that thank God we kept those sissified West Coast teams out of this playoff. We don't need that sissy football making its way in here. Let's let these men decide it between LSU and Georgia and Clemson and Ohio State. We'll let that one team in. Ohio State's physical. Okay. Other than that, that's it. We're done.
Yeah, because they proved it to us in playoff one.
They did.
Playoff year one.
And they've proved it before, so you'd give them that. And they recruit so exceptionally well. They got players. But, yeah. And it stinks for – this is where just the unfair nature of how we decide a champion in college football – every year, it's gone this way my whole life. There's always somebody who's going to get screwed.
Did we call Jim Tressel for the athletic director's job? I know he's a university president right now, so it may be a bit of a demotion. But if you go AD level at a place like FSU, let's bring in the vest. Get some kids some tattoos.
Oh, I think the vest cares about winning, and he's far enough removed from his troubles we could pat him on the back and say, you've learned your lesson. Now do what you need to do.
Right. Shoot, you're going to hire Bob Stoops and give him the AD torch or whatever, as the rumors were, and he let Joe Mixon come back to his team after, So,
some tattoos,
by comparison,
some gear.
Jim Tressel's like Pee Wee Herman.
Oh, no.
It's like at least Pee Wee was in a place of ill repute.
Yeah. Well, many of these guys that get in trouble, whether it be Pee Wee Herman or Jim Tressel, it's the further
looking back,
you're like, that's really nothing.
On the scale of 0 to Kellen Winslow, Pee Wee Herman is.
We know what people are doing in those kinds of places. We're under no illusions here.
It's his playhouse,
Oh, Pee Wee. Surely there were other people in that place.
Right, And with Jim Tressel, it's tattoos? What are we doing here?
Well, it was tattoos and gear, right?
Yeah.
It was that he lied.
It was that he lied. And he's an upstanding man of the Midwest.
I actually don't have a problem with him. I'd have lied too.
He's too old to be a coach anymore, right? We're agreeing on that. It's been 10 years since he got the boot. But, maybe a little athletic director job over here.
We'll see. Chef Cameron Show, 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Sorry, boys, I did not have time to pack.
We got this.
It's right here, guys.
We got this.
I thought I could handle it.
We got this.
Moving doesn't have to be a hassle. Call us first at 2 Men and a Truck. No matter the move, home or business, we'll make it a smooth one.
I forgot something.
We got this.
Smackin' Wings in town. Hobbit American Grill, celebrating 40 years of serving great food to great friends for good times. For info on their hours and 3 locations, visit them online at myhobbitonline.com.
Ho, ho, ho! The holidays are here, and the Florida Lottery has the must-get gifts of the season. Holiday Luck Scratch-Offs. They offer over 21 million winning tickets and more than $483 million in cash prizes. Wow! These are great!
Santa, where are you going?
Gotta get one!
Holiday Luck Scratch-Offs. Pretty much everyone's gonna want them. The Florida Lottery. It's your ticket.
Claim it!
Must be 18 or older to play. Play responsibly.
It's bow time at Bojangles. Come in today for a 3 Chicken Supremes dinner for just $4.99. Each Chicken Supremes dinner comes with 3 of our bold, craveable chicken tenders, your choice of fixin', and a fresh buttery biscuit. Plus, you'll get a free legendary iced tea. For a limited time, get Bojangles 3 Chicken Supremes dinner with your choice of fixin' and a biscuit for just $4.99. And don't forget that free iced tea. Bojangles, it's bow time, y'all.
Not all law firms are equal, so here's why Fonville Lewis Mesher McConaughey was recently voted Tallahassee's best law firm. First, we only take real cases. If your car was barely bumped and you think you're going to get rich, we're not the firm for you. We limit our practice to serious cases with legitimate claims. Second, we only take cases involving real injuries. If you know you aren't hurt but think you can fool your way into a quick settlement, we're not the firm for you. We encourage our clients to heal up and get better, not sit on the couch and expect a windfall. Third, we don't want clients who are just in it for the money. If the very first thing you think of after getting hurt is calling pound something or other on your cell phone instead of calling 911, we're not the firm for you. Your health should always come first. And finally, we won't blow smoke about a big money outcome just to get your case. Other firms overpromise and underdeliver. Our only promise is that we'll work harder than anyone to get you the best result. Remember, the law firm you have representing you makes all the difference, so don't settle for less. Call Fonville Lewis Mesher McConaughey and let us put our reputation to work for you.
Lane's Medical Shop has all of your home medical needs. They carry home oxygen, hospital beds, nebulizers, walkers, wheelchairs, orthotics, diabetic shoes, and all sleep apnea supplies. Lane's also has a weight loss clinic in-house, no appointment necessary, including B12 injections and any prescriptions necessary with the lowest prices around, and delivers to Tallahassee and South Georgia. Located only 40 miles from Tallahassee, go see Blake today, 210 West Main Street, Colquitt, Georgia, 229-758-9111.
Hi, welcome to this ad for new Subway sliders starting at $1.89 each. How do you want it?
Cheer Squad. Woo! Go Subway sliders starting at $1.89 each. Give me a $1.89 ham and jack slider.
$1.89 ham and jack slider.
Give me a $1.89 Italian spice slider. $1.89 Italian Spice Slider! What's that spell?
Doesn't really spell anything.
New Subway Sliders starting at $1.89 each. Go Sliders!
Customization for flavored cheese and sauce at participating shops plus tax. Price higher on delivery. Prices higher in Alaska and Hawaii.
GT Electric is Tallahassee's premier state-certified electrical contractor. Locally owned and operated for over 20 years, GT Electric offers a variety of electrical services for residential, commercial, and industrial fields, including upgrades, repairs, replacements, and installation. GT Electric also sells and services power generators for commercial buildings, homes, and construction job sites. Call them today at 421-9002. That's 421-9002. Or stop by gtelectricfl.com.
Come visit the new and exciting Hangar 38. This amazing place is for everyone listening right now. Practice your bowling skills, compete, and have fun. Whether you're a newbie, an all-star, or a beer frame champion, no matter how you roll, you'll find the best place to bowl is at Hangar 38. Hangar 38 is home to over 75 arcade games, so they're sure to have something for everyone. Zeppelin's at Hangar 38 is a premier full-service restaurant and sports bar, and it's also your place for birthday parties and company outings. Tallahassee, what are you waiting for? Come on out to Zeppelin's Hangar 38, 6668 Thomasville Road behind Walgreens.
Hello, this is Lisa Brady from Lisa's Paint and Body. It's that time of year again, so from my staff and myself, we would like to wish all of you a safe and happy Thanksgiving. And we would like to remind you to slow down during your holiday travels and Black Friday shopping so everyone can stay safe.
Broadcasting live from the Tallahassee Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, Ram, Fiat studios in the capital city of Tallahassee. This is the Jeff Cameron Show on 97.9 ESPN Radio. Man Cave Monday, brought to you by Tallahassee Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, Ram, Fiat. Right on the corner and always right on the price. Check out the latest 2019 inventory at TallahasseeDCJ.com today.
You're watching football all the time now as we get down to the nitty-gritty. So Ohio and Akron on Tuesday, I'll be watching. Western Michigan, Northern Illinois on Tuesday night, I'll be watching. No Wednesday game this week. Damn you. We do get a Thursday Ole Miss Mississippi State game, and I'm gonna go ahead and place a bet on the air. That's what I'm doing right now. I just saw that line and couldn't believe it. All right, then. Here we go, please.
Confirmation ticket. There you go.
There we go. I'm placing that bet right here. I'm shocked to see Mississippi State's a favorite over Ole Miss. Nay. Ole Miss going to win that game.
Well, you got the NFL triple header on Thursday as well. And it gets interesting, you know, at least in the early game. Bo Scarborough, back from the dead, man. He went 15 carries, 98 yards against Washington yesterday.
What in the world?
And he went for 56, I think it was, on 13 carries. Against the Cowboys, scored a touchdown in that game. And
Touchdown Cowboys.
Touchdown. It's another big victory for the Cowboys. So Bo was practice squad elevated, and that dude was a superstar at Bama, but it looks like
he was.
You know, the comeback story against a
is
really
on.
stout defense on Thursday. That should be fun.
Got any curiosity about the futures? Here you go. Rivalry week. I'll put you to the test since you and I like to do this.
The test.
Here we go.
I will pass the test.
Iowa and Nebraska, big rivalry out there. Iowa is favored over Nebraska by how much on the road?
On the road, 6.5.
6. Good call.
All right.
Nicely done out of you.
One for one.
The good story of the ACC, which is Virginia Tech, rolls on against rival Virginia. Noon kickoff on Friday, by the way. All right.
Okay, we have that day off.
Little nooner on a Friday. We got Tech and Virginia. Charlottesville. Blinding Beauty.
Oh, this time of year.
Who's favored and by how much?
Tech is favored by 2.5.
Bam! My man.
On the money?
Yeah. Nailed it.
I'm not cheating, I
no,
swear.
He's not cheating. Tom and I are good at this game. Says we might have a problem. All right, let's keep it rolling here. What do we got? I'm looking for other. Okay. Mighty Clemson
Oh,
is
boy.
favored, obviously, heavily on the road against SEC foe South Carolina.
Yeesh. Okay, so Vegas wasn't afraid to put a number on us, right?
No. They saw the discombobulation.
26.5.
Good guess, 25. Well done.
Wow.
You're
All right.
close.
All
You're
right.
close.
That's
Well
ballpark.
done. Now, let me test you on a little tougher one.
All right.
Because you don't care about either. Indiana versus Purdue. Rivalry game.
Where?
It's at Purdue.
Okay, it's a tougher place to play.
Mm-hmm.
It's like West Virginia. And, the teams aren't very good, but for some reason,
Yeah,
they
fans
can
get
hang in
into it, yeah.
there. Indiana by 6.5.
That is correct. That is the right spread.
On
That
the
is-
money?
Yeah, on the money. Yeah, I'm proud of you. Good work. This is amazing.
I get a bonus. I can play the Ditka clip, please, because that's my
Play it.
reward.
Yeah,
Okay, thank
you can
Susie,
play it.
I was from Philly, but they got rid of me, so I'm going with the Giants.
Let's see if the
Another great rivalry game that's developed over the last 5 to 7 years. Miami versus Duke. Miami, we all
that's a
know what a
classic.
rivalry that's become. All right, so Miami on the road at Duke, coming off the FIU game.
Yep, 10.5, Miami.
No, Miami's favored by 7.5.
Oh, first one I got really wrong.
Yeah, that's Notre Dame, Stanford, at Stanford.
Oh, boy, this is a tough
line.
Yeah, Notre Dame, 11.
14.5.
Okay. Starting to slip.
We're getting
bit.
a little wobbly. North Carolina at NC State.
It's like the night game of the triple header on Thanksgiving.
Getting a little wobbly. NC State versus North Carolina. North Carolina at NC State.
Okay, so North Carolina certainly is
These
favored.
two teams are terrible.
13.5, North Carolina.
8.
Oh, boy.
Ohio State, Michigan. Let's get to the big boy territory before we get done with the hour.
All right. Got to stem the tide here.
Now, come on, get focused. Ohio State at Michigan. A surging Michigan Wolverines team.
Yep. Ohio State, 13.
-9.
That's it?
4 off.
That's it?
Jump on it, Tom.
Yes.
Jump on it. Here we go.
Damn right I will.
Okay, let's keep it on. Alabama, Auburn.
Mm-hmm. Oh, this is hard, man, with no Tua. Alabama.
At Auburn. Jordan Hare.
Okay, Jordan Hare. It's not. I always say Jordan.
Yeah.
Alabama, 14.5. 4.
You were egregiously off, sir.
Yeah, that's my first big mistake.
That's a monster. Final
You should
one.
have stopped. I'm going to cut this.
This is the last one. It's the last one. Here we go. Now, you were on a roll.
I was.
Florida State, Florida. Have you seen this admitted?
No, I haven't.
I was wondering what it would be, so I say Florida State on the road at Florida.
24.5.
17, so that's not terrible. You're a touchdown off.
Okay.
I mean, it's not great.
I started well.
You started
I
like
started beautifully.
Oh, you were on fire.
I was a sharp.
It
for a
was
minute
you
there.
were you were nailing it.
I was like a Falcons fan in the New England Super Bowl. For a little while there, I felt like a champion, and then it just crashed and burned.
You want a rando? Here you go. Here's a rando.
Who doesn't
for
love
you.
a rando?
Yeah, you got to have a rando. Cal at UCLA for your rando.
Cal at UCLA. That's Cal by 2.
UCLA is favored by 1.5.
That's not bad. That's a 3 point.
It's a terrible game too. Nobody needs to watch that. That's fine. All right, you did pretty well.
I did well.
You did okay. You started.
I was sterling.
Yeah, and then you were okay. Yeah. All right. Well, I'm gonna give you one last one. All right. Well, I'll give you a chance at redemption.
Jeez.
Concentrate. Georgia Tech. Noon at Georgia Tech.
Well, Georgia doesn't score a whole lot of points against anybody, but I still think this one will be Georgia 21.5.
Not bad. 28.
28?
28.
Georgia scored 28 points.
Yeah, but it is Georgia Tech.
Okay.
That's a terrible Georgia Tech team. They may accidentally score 28 points in the first quarter. Final hour, forthcoming.
Sorry, boys, I did not have time to pack.
We got this.
It's right here, guys.
We got this.
I thought I could handle it.
We got this.
Moving doesn't have to be a hassle. Call us first at 2 Men and a Truck. No matter the move, home or business, we'll make it a smooth one.
I forgot something.
We got this.
A hearty sandwich with all the taste of the great American Southwest. We're talking a hotter, juicier, thick burger made with 100% black Angus beef, pepper jack cheese, zesty Santa Fe sauce, and enough pickled jalapenos to give it a kick. If it got any more authentic, we'd have to serve it with a cactus and a side of tumbleweeds. The Southwest Patty Melt. Now at Hardee's. Available for a limited time after regular breakfast hours at participating Hardee's. Hotter and juicier beef patty as compared to the Hardee's original beef patty.
As the leaves are falling, so are the DeWalt prices at Cornerstone Tool and Fastener. The Build Your Own DeWalt Kit promotion is back. Buy 2 select bare tools and get a DeWalt starter kit at no charge. That's 2 5-amp-hour batteries and charger. And there's more. Purchase a DeWalt drill and impact kit and get an additional 5-amp-hour battery and a free bare tool. Choose from impacts, drills, grinders, and more. That's 3 tools and 3 5-amp-hour batteries exclusively at Cornerstone. 1110 Stuckey Ave and 3269 Crawfordville Highway. Tallahassee location open on Saturdays from 8 a.m. until noon.
Hi, this is Peter Bond, owner of Jerry's Cigar Shop. Jerry's has been a local favorite for cigar enthusiasts for the last 25 years. We have the largest walk-in humidors in town, filled to the brim with an amazing cigar selection. Relax in one of our leather chairs and enjoy an ice-cold beer or a glass of wine with your cigar. Jerry's is a great place to watch sports on our big flat-screen TVs and offers a comfortable setting for lively conversation. Visit our original store on Scherer Road or our new second location on Cary Forest Parkway. We hope to see you soon.
AAA Tree Experts and Landscaping has been a Tallahassee staple for over 35 years. But did you know they now offer holiday lighting? AAA holiday lighting services include design consultation, setup, and takedown maintenance and lighting storage. Call them today for all your outdoor holiday lighting needs. 850-385-3319 or visit them online at AAATreeExperts.net. AAA Tree Experts and Landscaping, and now holiday lighting.
Lane's Medical Shop has all of your home medical needs. They carry home oxygen, hospital beds, nebulizers, walkers, wheelchairs, orthotics, diabetic shoes, and all sleep apnea supplies. Lane's also has a weight loss clinic in-house, no appointment necessary, including B12 injections and any prescriptions necessary with the lowest prices around, and delivers to Tallahassee and South Georgia. Located only 40 miles from Tallahassee, go see Blake today, 210 West Main Street, Colquitt, Georgia, 229-758-9111.
Hey, Seminole fans, fall is here, and Garnet & Gold has a great selection of brand new FSU fall apparel in stock right now. Long-sleeve t-shirts, jackets, fleece, and sweats from brand names like Nike, Champion, and many others. Get your fall on at Garnet & Gold, owned and operated by Seminoles for Seminoles for nearly 40 years at all 3 Garnet & Gold locations, West Pensacola Street, in Killarn near Fresh Market, and on Governor Square Boulevard, or shop online 24/7 at garnetandgold.com. Shop local and go Noles.
The Jeff Cameron Show podcast, available on demand at ESPNTallahassee.com and on iTunes today. The Jeff Cameron Show podcast is brought to you by Garnet & Gold of Tallahassee. When you buy FSU apparel, support local business. GarnetandGold.com.
He's to the 20, the 10, the 5, and touchdown! Just as time expires. What a big score!
You too can score big with savings offered by the City of Tallahassee. With a free home energy audit from the city, you are sure to score some major points by identifying household energy needs. We'll come to your home at your convenience, examine your structure, and provide recommendations for energy and water-saving improvements. You can also take advantage of the city's Energy Star appliance rebates. This can help you receive up to $300 on appliances such as refrigerators, washing machines, and more. And don't forget to ask about budget billing. This free program gives you more predictable bills by averaging the amount you pay each month to help avoid spikes caused by seasonal changes. With so many savings, you're sure to be a winner. Visit talgov.com or call 850-891-4968. That's talgov.com or 850-891-4968 to learn more.
One of my favorite things about being a member at Orange Theory Fitness is the sense of community. Initially, after taking the tour and seeing the state-of-the-art equipment, I was intrigued. I became convinced even once I researched the science-backed, technology-tracked, coach-inspired workouts, all of that. But what I didn't count on was the support, the sense of camaraderie shown by the members and the coaches. You realize pretty quickly you're not alone. And when you're pushing yourself through barriers and attempting to be your personal best, you can use all the help you can get. And it's there. It's amongst the members and coaches at Orange Theory Fitness. To learn more, go to orangetheoryfitness.com.
Driving every day from the Tallahassee Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram Fiat Studios. This is 97.9 ESPN Radio, WTSM, Woodville, Thomasville, Tallahassee.
ESPN Radio Sports Center.
I'm Christine Lisi. This just in. The Bengals going back to Andy Dalton as their starting quarterback. Cincinnati's lost all 3 games with rookie Ryan Finley under center. Eagles quarterback Carson Wentz has a bruised middle finger on his throwing hand. He's not expected to miss any practice time, putting him on track to play Sunday against the Dolphins. Wentz coming off a 4-turnover performance, his 3rd game of this season with multiple turnovers. One of Wentz's issues is that he's gotten into some bad habits fundamentally, explains ESPN's Tim Hasselbeck.
In terms of how he carries the ball, what happens with the football when he tries to escape, regardless of the stuff around him. And I think there's some legitimacy to the guys around him, not necessarily being the most talented group at wide receiver. I think they're lacking some speed, some true playmakers there. But that can't get you into bad habits.
Tim Hasselbeck on Golick and Wingo from ESPN's Ed Werder. Even with the intense criticism from owner and GM Jerry Jones after the Patriots loss, the Cowboys will not make any immediate changes to Coach Jason Garrett's staff with a game against the Bills in 4 days.
Vivid Seats, the top ticket source for the live events you crave, now has a loyalty program that allows fans to earn credit back. Go to the App Store or Google Play, download the Vivid Seats app, and enter promo code ESPN25 for 10% off your next order.
Broadcasting live from the Tallahassee Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, Ram, Fiat studios in the capital city of Tallahassee. This is the Jeff Cameron Show on 97.9 ESPN Radio. Man Cave Monday, brought to you by Tallahassee Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, Ram, Fiat. Right on the corner and always right on the price. Check out the latest 2019 inventory at TallahasseeDCJ.com today.
Final hour of the Jeff Cameron Show, at least for today. Thanks for tuning to it. Happy Thanksgiving week, everybody. We appreciate you joining us. Hope you're having a good time out there. Happy for everybody. It's good weather.
Feels like a holiday week in general.
You can tell.
It's irregular. Everything about this week is completely irregular.
We're online, ESPNTallahassee.com. That's where you're going to listen live via the streaming free always. Don't miss anything, but hey, sometimes you do. And if you do, go back, get caught up at your leisure. All 3 hours posted upon the conclusion of the show, both on iTunes, where you can rate, review, share with your friends and family and strangers alike. 5 stars only. Tom Wang cares deeply. 5 stars only.
I need dishonesty out of those of you who think we're only a 3-star show. Please, be dishonest.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. 5 stars only. Don't even review if you're going to put a 4. Just don't bother. 5 stars only. That's what all the kids say who are in the podcasting business. You can email us if you like, jcs at 979 ESPN Radio. Somebody can put like a 4 or 6. Love the show, really, really good. Occasionally, Jeff's not on his game, so I give it a 4 or 6. Get that out of here. Get that weak sauce out of here.
We need you to lie.
Get your 5
Mr.
up there.
4.6.
Get your 5 up there or nothing. It's a 0 or a 5.
It's like the mobster kid, the math teacher. He's a 100 student. Well, he's getting 95. He's a 100 student.
Yeah. It's pass or fail. That's what we got here. That pass is a 5-star. JCS at 979 ESPNRadio.com is the email address. Fire away with that on Twitter. It's at J Cameron Show. WTSM app, good for your mobile devices. Hello, YouTubers and Periscopers. I hope you're well. The basketball team won again. All right, basketball team. You don't get a big choo-choo out of me for the win. You do get a little choo-choo. FSU had the bye week, of course, before we traveled down to Gainesville for the finale and a loss to make it 6-6 on the season. But Saturday afternoon, it was all basketball against St. Francis at the TLC Double C, and he wasn't as dominant of a performance as you got against Chattanooga, but it was nice. But no Raekwon Gray again, no MJ Walker again. Minor injuries holding them out right now. So they, Florida State rolled out a lineup that was different, which is cool. You got Malik Osborne from center to power forward, which is his natural position, Tom.
Yep.
Dom at center. Much bigger front court, and there you go. I like it.
It's a stretch 4 for Malik Osborne because he hit some shots from the perimeter, buddy. this is really turning into something exciting. I'm looking forward to seeing Malik against Tennessee this week.
Yeah, I'm wondering if
I'm fully aware we have a game tonight, but yeah, it's about going down to Niceville and making an impact.
Knowles did enough, had lapses in this game. If you look at it, we converted 28 of 60 that's 46.7%. We were 9 of 25 from beyond the arc, 36%. 15 of 17 from the free throw line. That'll work. We out-rebounded St. Francis 38-27, 15-10 on the offensive glass. We led that actually led to a 19-10 margin in second chance points. We were careless with the ball. That's reminiscent of the olden days where we get so frustrated on turnovers per possession. 19 of those to 15 assists is not going to get it done, but
you're working through some things.
I think so, too. I think they're just working through a lot of things. How about Wyatt Wilkes? Got to give some love to Wyatt Wilkes. Off the bench, scores 14 points, 5 of 7 from the field, 3 of 5 from beyond the arc. Hit his only free throw, 2 rebounds in 16 minutes of play. Do some things.
He responded to the demotion because he was starting the previous game. That's a good job pushing buttons there. Good job, guys.
And by the way, it's kind of funny because he's been out there a couple times now, and I failed to mention his name. I saw where Nathaniel Jack added 3 points. Most of the time, when Nathaniel Jack's on the floor, a lot of us go, is that our player? Who's Nathaniel Jack? But there you go. 3 points, 1 of 5 from the field.
He's number 11, folks. Number 11.
So Florida State went 2 wins outside the top 25 in the polls. We're 26 in the AP poll. We're 29 in the coaches poll. Hey, now. That's up 1 position from last week. And now we have the Charleston Classic. You know, you watch over, you saw that, by the way, the win in the Charleston Classic, meaning Florida. This could eventually help us, right?
Yes, absolutely.
You'd like to think that's going to
I'd need them not to be terrible after we beat them. And that way in the NET, the old net rankings were okay. And that way we can climb even more in the coaches poll.
The coaches poll.
The reason I bring up the Florida win over Xavier last night, Florida then leapfrogged Florida State in the top 25.
Oh, people just need an excuse. They need a reason to believe.
Man alive.
Yes.
It's, a thorough ass-kicking in Gainesville might have been the evidence one needs when making a vote.
Oh, best program in the state, man. Best program in the state of Florida.
So it's
no doubt about it.
Chicago State, we've played them before. We won 47-42 in the Pittsburgh Holiday Hoops Tournament at the Pete in 2003. You remember it?
47-42?
Yeah. 47-42. There at the Pete, December 20th, 2003. That game came down to the wire. I'm not going to preview.
That reminds me of the old Atlantis tournament from, 6-7 years ago. Remember the Harvard game?
Yeah. Oh,
Holy
my God.
geez.
What a game.
That was on Versus. That's how long ago that tournament was. It was on Versus, not NBC Sports.
I forgot about Versus, Tom.
Yep. Versus had excellent NHL music, and it's not findable. It's not findable. They have the second iteration.
You've been looking for it?
I've been looking for it. I want to use it as bumper for, any hockey talk we have. The ESPN clip is great, but it's only, a minute long. So if we ever do a 10-minute NHL segment, which I know they're coming this year.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Bunch of 10-minute NHL segments on the way,
we
right?
need some Versus music.
Yeah. All eyes are on the coaching search, and I have to say that more than anything else, I'd probably out and about get asked about that more than, whether or not I think that we're going to play well against Florida, my thoughts on Willie Taggart being let go earlier this year, all that stuff. And the truth is, I've really kind of sat back and not worried about the coaching search because I'm under the impression, and I could be wrong, they're talking about basically what we talked about last week. The people you talk to behind the scenes, the sources that most of the people on the beat are probably reaching out to, many of the same sources I have, of course, they're still talking about probably that right after the Florida game, the announcement comes down the pike. That it's going to be, I said to you last week, Tom, I thought it'd be the first week of December. I still do. I think that you'll let these things play out on the 30th, these final games. And then you probably, if there's a deal being worked right now, the details of that, work through his people, our people. Okay, in principle, we got a deal. coach your final game, announce to your team you're not going to be there for the bowl, perhaps. Let's sit down across from one another. And
early signing period, I hope,
Yeah. No, what I'm
You
saying
got
is,
to.
well, of course you do. What I'm saying is you got to let him do that and all those things. So, whomever it is, I mean, you're going to find out. I would think, in all likelihood, I think Florida State will make this announcement that first week of December.
So, obviously, it goes without saying, this is a critical time for the program and a critical time to get the hire right. But I don't know if people feel like I do, because I will approach whatever hire it is with trepidation. I'll be timid about it. I'll be excited that there'll be a new set of eyes. And, of course, whoever it is going to have a resume of some sort that we can find the good, the bad, all that stuff. But I was so sure about the Willie thing because of the recruiting that he was going to bring here that every hire subsequent, we haven't been burned. I mean, the Bowden thing was longer than I was alive. The Jimbo thing worked. It was a success.
Yes.
Then this Willie one, abject failure. It's done in under 2 years. So, through the spring game, all that stuff, I'm going to be watching. Clicky pens for the new guy, definitely. But I'm not going to look at this thing and say, oh, the day is saved, no matter who it is.
Yeah, no, I've said for a while now that if they hired Bob Stoops, you'd see an uptick in enthusiasm, donations, and in all likelihood, the fervor around the program would harken back to glorious days. But short of that, and I'm not even saying that would have worked out. I'm just talking about reputation. But I think that no matter who they hire, and then we know now it's not going to be Mark Stoops. Cracked me up to hear Mark Stoops talk about, I love Kentucky, this is where I want to be, which is certainly code for you're not getting this job, and we told you you're not getting this job, which I am happy to hear.
Yeah, that's an indicator that they've got somebody, that's a no-brainer at least at the level of you're saying, okay, that makes sense. That's a good hire for Florida State.
They just got somebody that they believe is a better candidate for the position than Mark Stoops. Could be a lot of people, in my opinion, that would fit that bill. But
it won't be a reach is what I'm saying. That's an indicator because he would be in play.
He'd at least to be a stabilizing factor, probably, yeah. He's higher on your list than mine. That's correct,
yes.
But
even though he did have 10 players out there against the Gators in a key moment.
Yeah, twice.
His side of the ball.
Yeah. No, I was less gung-ho than some people were on Mark Stoops. Everybody's got their guy. I think everybody knows, listening to this show, that I'd like to see Matt Campbell get this job. I don't know if he's interested in this job, and that's the hard part here. There are other candidates that I'd be happy with. I mean, if somehow the rumors continue to hover around James Franklin, okay. I mean, that would be kind of a stunning hire, I have to confess. Because if you look at it from the standpoint of you remove your garnet and gold-colored glasses and you say to yourself, Florida State or Penn State, and the job that he's done there under extremely difficult circumstances, the stability he has, the success, the facilities, and more importantly, I think the known commodity, that is who your president is, who your AD is, you really have a good thing going there, and it's a traditional powerhouse. You would really find it shocking that he would come to Florida State. Like, what is that? And listen, again,
not in the 90s or not 5 years ago.
No,
like if you timestamp the situation right now.
These two programs in the face and you say, what hurts is right now there's far greater stability at Penn State than there is Florida State. Now, I think every coach should want to come here. But again, remove that and just think about it as these guys are mercenaries. He doesn't love Penn State, and he's not going to love Florida State. He's there to coach, make his money, and try to win football games. So if you're just looking at it for the standard of the job, you'd say, well, I don't know who's my boss going to be. Who's my AD? And I guess the only reason you would maybe do it is weather, certainly. I mean,
recruiting.
Weather and recruiting would probably be, I mean, if he feels like he has a much better shot to win a national championship here than he does there, maybe that factors into it.
Well, he was, if I recall correctly, maybe I don't, but he was like Jim Harbaugh. They were making news years ago about doing satellite camps in Florida. I mean, he knows the importance of being down here. And I think every coach thinks they're going to win, most games, or if not all games. Every coach thinks if I get a crack at this opportunity. I mean, look at this situation here from the recruiting pipeline standpoint. Like, I know I'm a great recruiter if I'm James Franklin.
Sure.
Look at what I've done to get people to come up to Pennsylvania.
Yeah, and look what I can do if I get there. Yeah.
Right.
No doubt. I think, too, if you're Penn State, this is true of all the teams in major conferences where you have a coach who's done a real good job, but he's not at the program. If you're him, When Ohio State operates at peak efficiency, you lose to Ohio State, period. Frankly, if Michigan gets back to operating at peak efficiency ever again, you lose to Michigan. You're probably third on that depth chart, right? If everybody's really humming.
If everybody's humming, yeah.
If everybody's
yeah.
humming.
Mm-hmm.
No, not everybody's humming all the time, so I got you. But if they are, you're probably third. Here, it's us and Clemson. As Miami once again proved this weekend.
Right. And
not a factor.
And he had McSorley and Saquon Barkley, and they still couldn't get over the top and into the playoff. So maybe he's like, man, that's about as good a swing as I'm going to get from here.
God love him if he ever gets a kid the equivalent of Saquon Barkley to Tallahassee.
It'll be easier to get one here than with Penn State.
Without question. I guess I keep hearing that name, and I kind of think, what? It doesn't sound like something that can happen. Maybe I'm wrong. Now, there are always mitigating circumstances. There are always things that you don't know about that he could be unhappy about up there. I don't know what those are. I don't cover Penn State on a daily basis.
What would be interesting to me is if that did happen, I don't know either. For me, I'm along for the ride in this roller coaster. I'm not telling it which way to turn. Never could, but I mean, sometimes you feel like you want to be so invested that you know every twist and turn. I'm going to sit back, kick my feet up, and watch.
And I really can't afford to do that given our position, but I will tell you, I feel that way too, because here's what I know. I know that I'm done assuming that whomever it is we hire is going to be the right hire, whether it's James Franklin, whether it's Matt Campbell. There are guys I like more than others. I am in prove it to me, show me mode, just like you are. We've been burned. The program has been steeped in mediocrity or worse for some time now. Too many years of the last 20 have featured a whole lot of average at best. And so we're just, you're ready to see somebody come in here and get their hands dirty. Get down in the muck, reestablish.
That's right.
I mean, get down in the muck, Tom, and reestablish what this program is and can be.
Is that maple syrup?
Yeah.
What's that smell?
You got to get down in it. You got to have a system in place. We're hungry. The people here are hungry. I think a lot of the boosters and those influential alumni that can help are willing to help. I believe Florida State's at that stage. They're tired of being second fiddle, third, fourth, fifth fiddle in their own conference.
We lost to Miami. Miami lost to FIU.
They sure did.
Mm-hmm.
They sure did.
That's where the hell we are. They actually lost the game to FIU. You could play the transitive game and wonder what if.
I'm going to continue to quote this Chris Felica tweet. Miami becomes the only team in the last 40 years to lose 3 times as a 14-point favorite in a single season. They lost to Virginia Tech as a 14-point favorite at home. They lost to Georgia Tech as an 18.5-point favorite at home. And they lost to FIU as a 21-point favorite at home. But they sure rode up here and won.
They sure did.
They sure traveled up here and won with the greatest of ease.
History is made at the U. And they've got 3 in a row over us. That's where we are.
Woo! It's Jeff Cameron Show, 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Sorry, boys, I did not have time to pack.
We got this.
It's right here, guys.
We got this.
I thought I could handle it.
We got this.
Moving doesn't have to be a hassle. Call us first at 2 Men and a Truck. No matter the move, home or business, we'll make it a smooth one.
I forgot something.
We got this.
Call 888-FSU-NOL or visit Seminoles.com today.
As sports fans, we all know this is the best time of the year. And the best places to catch all the action are at the Corner Pocket Bar and Grill and 7th Hill Tap Room. If you're a fan of an action-packed environment, the Corner Pocket is the place to be. Happy hour specials every day, including all day on Sundays, with sports in HD everywhere you look. For location hours and menu, head to cptallybar.com. Whether you're feeling the upstairs at the Corner Pocket or lounging down at the 7th Hill Tap Room, your game day is always covered. 2475 Appalachia Parkway, right next to Earth Fair.
Hello, this is Lisa Brady from Lisa's Paint and Body. It's that time of year again, so from my staff and myself, we would like to wish all of you a safe and happy Thanksgiving. And we would like to remind you to slow down during your holiday travels and Black Friday shopping so everyone can stay safe.
people trust Sellers for better tile, carpet, and hardwood flooring. Sellers Flooring Advisor Ryan Fitzgerald.
We understand most people don't come in with great knowledge of what they're looking for or what they need. So at Sellers, what we try to do is use our expertise to guide you through the process.
Get Sellers working for you.
We make it easy, and we have the experts on staff to get you where you need to be, and we give you the options.
On Capitol Circle Northeast, just north of Mahan Drive. Call 656-8453. Online at sellerstile.com.
At Tallahassee Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram, we haven't offered employee pricing in over 10 years. It's back. Get some incredible deals, like a new 2019 Ram, $1,500 up to $7,500 off MSRP, plus 0% for 60 months on the 2019 Motor Trend Truck of the Year. A huge savings only at Tallahassee Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram. Here's another. A new 2019 Jeep Grand Cherokee, up to $4,000 off MSRP. A new 2019 Dodge Challenger SXT, up to $6,000 off MSRP. Buy one for only $26,999 during our Dodge Power Dollars sales event. Employee pricing plus everyone qualifies going on right now. Only at Tallahassee Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram, where we're right on the corner and always right on the price. Visit us on the web at TallahasseeDCJ.com. Pricing on in-stock vehicles only, plus tax, tag, and dealer fee with approved credit. See dealer for details.
Barry knows cool. He's keeping you comfortable. Barry knows cool. You can put him to the test.
You can't protect against everything life has in store, but you can sure try. When you turn to the experts at Carrier and Barano Heating and Air, we help you protect your investment with regular maintenance options that can keep your system safe. Receive same-day service when you sign up for the Total Comfort Service Program at baranoac.com. Florida license number CAC 1816186.
O'Reilly.
Stop by O'Reilly Auto Parts for our See Better, Drive Safer sale going on right now. Get great deals on everything from wiper blades to headlight bulbs. Plus, save on your next oil change with 5 quarts of O'Reilly Full Synthetic Motor Oil and MicroGuard Filter, just $25.99. O'Reilly Auto Parts. Better prices every day.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Golick and Wingo.
Before this and to after this, Colin Kaepernick, people that are on his side, all think he did the right thing, and the Colin Kaepernick detractor said he blew any chance he had to play football. From the NFL side, this whole thing should have been buttoned up before they even made the announcement there was going to be a workout. Correct. Waivers signed, who was running it, all that minutia should have been done before anything ever came out. It turned into a fiasco. And then you get to the Colin Kaepernick side, there's no trust on either side of this, especially on Colin's side, to the NFL. My question is, does Colin Kaepernick really want to play football? If your goal was to play football, you cost yourself. He wanted to control the narrative. Congratulations, you control the narrative. And then you basically said the NFL was stop running scared afterward. And I don't think there is a team out there that is going to bring you in or sign you.
Golick and Wingo, weekdays at 6 a.m. on 97.9 ESPN Radio. The Jeff Cameron Show is brought to you by Cornerstone Tool and Fastener. Big store pricing with local service. Online at ctf.nu.
Into Who's Hot, Who's Cold. We'll do so NFL style here first. Cue it up, Tommy.
It's time for Who's Hot?
It's so damn hot.
Who's Cold?
Looks like she's going to turn cold tomorrow.
Oh, yeah. Got a front coming in.
Yeah, you got that right.
Who's Hot, Who's Cold? Brought to you by our friends at Barano Heating and Air Conditioning, the best in the biz. Cameron Household and ESPN Radio. Long-standing working relationship with our friends at Barano Heating and Air Conditioning. You want to get an estimate how much they can save you this holiday season, this winter, if you will? Give them a call today, 850-580-4029. We've had a great relationship with them. That's why I endorse them. And I think if you've got those kinds of questions, look, I don't know if you need a new air conditioner or not, but if you do, that's where you want to go.
And if you're in a pinch as a business, we have been.
Numerous times.
More time, usually around July. I don't know what it is about July and needing air conditioning around here, but once we're one might say there's correlation. At any rate, Patrick is great, Patrick Barano, in those moments, and they'll come through for you as well.
They do. And they got the sweetest caps of any business in town. I love their caps.
Got some of their gear in studio.
Yeah, somewhere around here.
Tumbler.
All right, let's start with who's cold. The Atlanta Falcons get boat raced at home by the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They were non-competitive, Tampa dominant, and the best quarterback on the field was clearly Jameis Winston. And that was fun to watch. Maybe not for the Atlanta fans.
I mean, every offense in this league can score on Tampa. They're the worst scoring defense in football entering yesterday's action. But Dirk Cutter just had problems. He couldn't consistently draw up the plays that were necessary.
Chris Godwin, 7 receptions on 8 targets, qualifies for hot as well for 184 yards, 2 touchdowns. Longest catch, a dime.
Yeah.
71 yards. He averaged 26.3 yards per catch. Have yourself a day, Chris Godwin.
Yeah, it reminded me of the Louisville Ermon Lane touchdown because from the TV angle,
but this one didn't actually pierce somebody's body the way that one
did.
did.
Right. But, hey, man, when you got a safety or a linebacker in trail, what do? You throw it right by his ear, and that's exactly what James did.
That was rather remarkable. Something to behold there. Also hot in the receiver category, Jarvis Landry had 10 receptions, 148 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Part of a real good day for Baker Mayfield, who I'd throw in that category as well. 24 of 34, 327 yards, 3 touchdowns, just the 1 INT as they won going away against Miami.
Yeah, don't look now, but the AFC wildcard picture is not like the NFC. The AFC is wide open, and Cleveland has a huge game with Pittsburgh this weekend that will help determine the fate.
And a real good chance that they'll win that game, although they did not get helped out by the fact that somebody with eyes was watching the Pittsburgh game and finally realized that Mason Rudolph sucks. I learned it the hard way a few games back because he sucks. But they pulled him, and they brought your boy in.
That's right, Hodges, man. I told you, that guy, yeah.
He's got a little something to him.
He's got a little something.
He's got a little something to him, I know. Derrick Henry had himself a day, 19 carries, 159 yards. Get it together, Jacksonville. 8.4 yards per carry and 2 touchdowns. What are we doing?
Well, they're starting Foles is what they're doing. Here's hoping they do it one more week. Bucks at Jags this weekend. So keep it going with the Foles experiment.
Leonard Fournette, by the way, you can put him in there and having a good day, but I wouldn't put him in there as hot. 24 carries, 97 yards. Did have 2 touchdowns. So
well, he was also a beast when it comes to scrimmage yards. He was well over 150, I do believe, with the receptions added in there.
Yeah, got to throw in the receptions. Let's go to Sam Darnold, who led the Jets over a whitewashing of the Raiders. There's the Raiders we thought existed, right?
That's the NFL result of the weekend, though.
34-3. 20 of 29. There was, early in the game, and I don't know how many of you saw this, but to go back and watch the unnecessary roughness, the roughing the passer penalty called against the Raiders down in the red zone. The Jets are driving. The Raiders get a sack off the right side, and it is as innocuous a sack as you'll ever see. And they throw the flag, and I saw the official throw the flag, and I thought what he was throwing originally was either for a hold or maybe the hand hit the helmet. So I went back and looked. There's nothing. It's a sack. There is not a single thing wrong with the sack. And when you watch it, you're absolutely perplexed, and then you remember it's the National Football League.
Yeah, this reminds me, I have not seen it, but I remember just a couple of weeks ago, the Carolina-Green Bay game. Remember that?
Yeah.
And Gerald McCoy had the sack of Aaron Rodgers. It was in their own end zone. He or it may have been inside the 5-yard line because it certainly wasn't a safety. But Gerald finds a way to land and not put his body weight on Aaron Rodgers, and it's in the strike zone, so to speak. And the referee calls it a body weight sack.
Yeah.
And the broadcast, incredulous.
Yeah.
They end up getting a stop on 4th down just before halftime. So justice was served. But Carolina was going to get the football at the 50-yard line running a 2-minute drill.
Yeah, no, this happens every week. I tweeted about it this weekend. I just can't. I don't know what they're going to do. I'm a hypocrite because I keep watching. But I really would like to get to a place where I can stop. It's not good for my business. But to be honest with you, they are so incompetent. And the consistency with which they bastardize the game of football and the rules are rather startling. I mean, it's at an all-time high. I can't fathom, how it is that the powers that be watch these highlights and don't think to themselves, we have got to get in the business. It's a multi-billion-dollar business of hiring full-time refs. We have got to get to where we have full-time refs so that this kind of nonsense doesn't happen. They throw a flag. I mean, listen, the tripping calls in the Dallas-New England game are insane. You see repeated interference, non-interference calls blown every week that they've opened up to replay and they never overturn. And when they do, you're incredulous. I really don't know anymore from one game to the next, one crew to the next, what it is they're looking for or what it is they think they see, but they have really ruined a lovely game. And all in the name, I think, of safety, and it's a game that you can't play safely. You can play it more safely, and they certainly instituted rules to that effect, and then they should have just got out of the way. The problem was they kept going. You ended the launching. That was a good thing. There was launching in the league, and they needed to put an end to it. Those kill shots that made up those highlight reels, that had to stop. Safeties coming in, crown of their helmets under the chin, guys, sprawled out. Instead of wrapping up, they would leave their feet and go for the head. Get rid of that. They did. They've successfully got rid of that. I think most of the players now know not to do that. You see the way they tackle now. A lot of them are looking for shoulders. They still call it. They still do it all the time. They'll call it when a guy leads with his shoulder. If the other guy adjusts his body and they hit heads, they still throw the flag. They've ruined the spirit of the rules, and they have really made a mockery of their sport. And when you affect, I say this all the time, the integrity of a sport, it does not take long before people begin to look elsewhere for their entertainment. And I just don't, it's happened that it's cost people their jobs. It's happened that it cost the franchise a trip to the Super Bowl last year. It's happened time and again that you watch that they just absolutely butcher the rules of the game. Half the time, I'm not even sure they know the rules. I mean, I watch officials constantly make calls that Mike Pereira and others are saying that's not the rule. You can't do that.
Yeah, how is it that the person in New York who is now conferring, because they did that before they were allowed to by rule. I remember Pereira being incensed by that they were able to call back to New York before it was supposed to go into effect, and New York can say, here's what you do here. Here's what we need to. Well, now they openly admit that they can review things back at Central Command and inform the official on the ground of what to do. And it's gotten worse?
I don't
how's
understand.
that possible?
No, Riverboat Ron is not making any changes when they get those reviews, and it's just you can't just willy-nilly make up a trip in a close game. You just can't. You got to know it. You got to know. I don't care what you think it looks like. It's football. There's legs and bodies everywhere. Guys get hit and jostled off their base. They're going to move their leg, and these are 350-pound men. What are we doing? These are reserved for really obvious cases where a guy sticks his leg out as he's falling down because he's beat and he's been bull rushed.
That was impressive. Good job.
But people do that, and you see that, and that's when you throw that flag. Anything that's close, that's the result of a guy losing his balance and a guy getting hit.
And then also, at point of attack, if it impacts the play, if you got a backside hold on a run to the left, let the right tackle's hold go, man. That doesn't impact the play whatsoever.
But they do this kind of stuff, and
it's the ACC model, it seems like, in the NFL. When in question, throw the flag.
Yeah, and I think it's an overreaction for safety measures that ended up becoming pervasive throughout the league. So the mindset going in, when in doubt, is to throw the flag, and it's really ruining what are otherwise entertaining games. There were some really good games this weekend.
It's probably not true. It just feels that way because there are so many more flags in general. But I feel like teams and coaches have gotten dumber when it comes to alignment and assignment pre-snap. I feel like there's more false starts, illegal formations. It's not just us here in college. Like in the pro game, not enough guys in the line of scrimmage. Just a delay of games, false starts. Jesus, there's a ton of that. Shifting problems.
Guys covered up, not covered up. Yeah, it happens all the time. It really does. I think they're trying to get more innovative with a lot of the college influence, and you see this now in offenses throughout the league, and perhaps they're not doing a good job of repping that. I think the coaches would complain that they're not allowed to practice the extensive hours that they used to, and they oftentimes have a problem with this.
Yeah, coaches' number one complaints regarding that, those relate to the offensive line. That the O-line doesn't get any time to work together, and they can't build anything that's representative of at least average football on a Sunday.
Hard to watch. Jeff Cameron Show, 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Sorry, boys, I did not have time to pack.
We got this.
It's right here, guys.
We got this.
I thought I could handle it.
We got this.
moving doesn't have to be a hassle. Call us first at 2 Men and a Truck. No matter the move, home or business, we'll make it a smooth one.
I forgot something.
We got this.
Yales, all for just $40. See what they did there? And don't worry about parking. Plenty of spaces available in the parking deck or surrounding lots. Check out all the Thursday Collegetown deals right now on ThursdaysInCollegetown.com.
Hi, this is Peter Bond, owner of Jerry's Cigar Shop. Jerry's has been a local favorite for cigar enthusiasts for the last 25 years. We have the largest walk-in humidors in town, filled to the brim with an amazing cigar selection. Relax in one of our leather chairs and enjoy an ice-cold beer or a glass of wine with your cigar. Jerry's is a great place to watch sports on our big flat-screen TVs and offers a comfortable setting for lively conversation. Visit our original store on Sharer Road or our new second location on Cary Forest Parkway. We hope to see you soon.
Just like football, when it comes to the court of law, you're going to need a solid defense. I'm Michael D. Blank, attorney with the Law Office of Jose Fernandez in Tallahassee. At the Law Office of Jose Fernandez, there is never an upfront fee, and if we don't recover, then you don't pay anything. Our team is dedicated to handling all types of accident, injury, negligence, malpractice, and wrongful death cases. If you're unable to come to us, we can come to you day or night. Call us now, 855-HOSE-305, for your free consultation today. The Law Office of Jose Fernandez. We don't get paid until you do. Offices, Tallahassee, Miami. JRFinjury.com. Go Noles.
O'Reilly. This is Jesse's O'Reilly Auto Parts story.
As a nurse, not making it to work was not an option. But driving through the snow with my wiper blades struggling, I just didn't feel safe. So I pulled into O'Reilly Auto Parts, and before I knew it, an employee was offering to install the wiper blades on my car. I got to stay out of the snow for a moment, and I still made it to work on time.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Oh no, this car ride's taking forever. I hate blindfolds. No more of these. Where are we going?
Bumpus Local 349.
Yay! I love Bumpus Local 349. It's a local business.
I wish they had piñatas.
Me too. But I think I'm going to order the Dolphin Reuben instead.
You know, it's not really dolphin.
Yes, it must be mahi, right?
Delicious.
Yes.
Eat local, be local, and drink local at Bumpus Local 349.
Help me with my blindfold.
Hey, Seminole fans, fall is here, and Garnet & Gold has a great selection of brand new FSU fall apparel in stock right now. Long sleeve t-shirts, jackets, fleece, and sweats from brand names like Nike, Champion, and many others. Get your fall on at Garnet & Gold, owned and operated by Seminoles for nearly 40 years at all three Garnet & Gold locations, West Pensacola Street, in Killarn near Fresh Market, and on Governor Square Boulevard, or shop online 24/7 at garnetandgold.com. Shop local and go Noles.
Hello, this is Lisa Brady from Lisa's Paint and Body. It's that time of year again, so from my staff and myself, we would like to wish all of you a safe and happy Thanksgiving. And we would like to remind you to slow down during your holiday travels and Black Friday shopping so everyone can stay safe.
Need help moving? 2 Men and a Truck Tallahassee provides professional home and business move services, both locally and long distance. For your next move, visit 2men.com or call them at 850-224-2232. 2 Men and a Truck, the movers who care.
One of my favorite things about being a member at Orange Theory Fitness is the sense of community. Initially, after taking the tour and seeing the state-of-the-art equipment, I was intrigued. I became convinced even once I researched the science-backed, technology-tracked, coach-inspired workouts, all of that. But what I didn't count on was the support, the sense of camaraderie shown by the members and the coaches. You realize pretty quickly you're not alone. And when you're pushing yourself through barriers and attempting to be your personal best, you can use all the help you can get. And it's there. It's amongst the members and coaches at Orange Theory Fitness. To learn more, go to orangetheoryfitness.com.
ESPN Radio Sports Center.
I'm Christine Lisi. This just in, the Bengals going back to Andy Dalton as their starting quarterback. Cincinnati's lost all 3 games with rookie Ryan Finley under center. Eagles quarterback Carson Wentz has a bruised middle finger on his throwing hand. He's not expected to miss any practice time, putting him on track to play Sunday against the Dolphins. Wentz coming off a 4-turnover performance, his 3rd game of this season with multiple turnovers. One of Wentz's issues is that he's gotten into some bad habits fundamentally, explains ESPN's Tim Hasselbeck.
In terms of how he carries the ball,
what happens with the football when he tries to escape, regardless of the stuff around him. And I think there's some legitimacy to the guys around him, not necessarily being, the most talented group at wide receiver. I think they're lacking some speed, some true playmakers there. But that can't get you into bad habits.
Tim Hasselbeck on Golick and Wingo from ESPN's Ed Werder. Even with the intense criticism from owner and GM Jerry Jones after the Patriots loss, the Cowboys will not make any immediate changes to Coach Jason Garrett's staff with a game against the Bills in 4 days.
Vivid Seats, the top ticket source for the live events you crave, now has a loyalty program that allows fans to earn credit back. Go to the App Store or Google Play, download the Vivid Seats app, and enter promo code ESPN25 for 10% off your next order.
Broadcasting live from the Tallahassee Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, Ram, Fiat studios in the capital city of Tallahassee. This is the Jeff Cameron Show on 97.9 ESPN Radio. Man Cave Monday, brought to you by Tallahassee Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, Ram, Fiat. Right on the corner and always right on the price. Check out the latest 2019 inventory at TallahasseeDCJ.com today.
City, that's Body Avenue. I got a girl from Kalamazoo.
The great Joe Strummer. I'm always tempted to let it play out. Wrapping it up tonight, Monday Night Football. We got you. Your life situation suggests you have to work on a Monday night, and you're not in front of a television, or you're at an office, or you're somewhere that says you cannot watch the game, but you can listen because we've got you covered here at ESPN 97.9.
We will have the triple header on Thursday as well, the NFL triple header from Westwood One. So if you're driving around town to whatever it is, if you do the early Thanksgiving, then you go out for cocktails, or it's a late dinner, and that kind of stinks, ruins your day. Whenever you're on the road, just tune over here.
It's funny. It's not lost on me. We talked about it earlier that our season is left to, I think, wallow in really sort of a indifference. Whereas, meaning our fandom, we just have to embrace Schadenfreude. And what a weekend it was.
Yes.
I mean, my goodness, to sit back. I may go home tonight prior to the Monday Night Football game and rewatch the FIU-Miami game, Tom. I may do that, to watch the handshake afterwards, to see the look on the faces.
So today, it was a really good edition of Lebatard, had it on in the background today, because Billy went to FIU, and Mike Ryan, of course, is a huge Cane, and so they're talking about that. But they had Butch Davis on at noon, and Mike asked Butch Davis if he coached his guys to feign injury. Like, he straight up, he asked the question. And Butch said, I'm so proud of our kids. What you didn't know is we had 14 IVs before the game started, and we don't have the depth. So we just tell the kids, if you're in trouble, just go down. And we had to administer 5 more IVs during the game. I'll bet you didn't know that. I'm really proud of our kids and the way they fought.
That's the end of that.
Yeah.
That is the end of that. That's a brilliant answer, even if you're lying. It's
he's lying through his teeth.
It doesn't matter, right? It's brilliant. There's just nothing you can do with that. By the way, the quote of the day, the quote of the weekend regarding performance, I didn't get to this earlier, was from Bruce Arians talking about Jameis Winston. And he was asked about whether the glass is half full or half empty. And he said, my glass is full as hell. It's going to get real full in a minute. Yeah, I mean, it was fun.
I think it is in pregame for Coach, too, judging by the way he sees things and determines what we need to be, where we need to be, and how we need to coach it.
That first play of the game, I think I texted you, hilarious.
Yep.
But immediately I also was, I'm getting increasingly more frustrated by a certain receiver.
Yeah, well, so at live speed you can't tell, but that first replay, it's before it comes back and Schlereth talks about it. Like the first replay, you're like,
he's rounding that. That's not even a route.
Right. At best, it's a miscommunication on a post or an in, but it's the first 15 plays. It's the first 15 plays of the game.
No, this is a weird year for that guy specifically. He has over 1,000 yards, whatever he has, 7 touchdowns. He's had moments on the field this year where he was the best player on the field, and he's had moments where you didn't know he was playing in the game. Like the stark contrast between being the best player on the field and did he suit up today? Is Mike Evans playing for the Bucs today?
Right. You think like Jameis is Jekyll and Hyde.
My God. Yeah. Mike Evans is either you can't guard him and he's going to go for 200 today, or I didn't know he was playing today.
Well, and that's in general for the receiving core. I remember, way back when, the first game of the season against San Francisco, nobody was open the entire game. Nobody was open.
And Evans was sick in that game, and I gave him a pass.
But, nobody.
Well, it turns out San Francisco can really play.
They can.
But, yes, I agree with you. Yes. I mean, there have been a lot of – both Saints games, no receivers were open.
Right.
None.
That's one of the few times Jameis has opened up and criticized his own teammates, too. He says, we need to get open in the midweek press conference after San Francisco. Well, okay.
Well, he did something this weekend that was smart. And I think when you're up against it and you're getting ripped and you may be the only guy on that team that understands the offense, which I'm beginning to think is true, just saying, I think at some point you're going to say screw it. And you're going to start telling guys, no, you need to be here. You ran the wrong route. I'm getting killed over here, fellas. A little help. Somebody be where they're supposed to be. So he had no problems because he has seniority.
Yeah.
Screaming down Miller. But, I mean, do that to all of them.
I think that's a huge step for him, and he just seems reluctant to take for whatever reason. I don't know if it's because he's been suspended himself, and he does make poor decisions, so he feels like he doesn't have the firm ground to do it.
There's a big difference between the decisions that got him suspended off the field and the decisions in a game. Listen, Brett Favre went through his whole career throwing interceptions and eventually was exalted as a gunslinger. There have been lots of them. Peyton Manning threw a boatload of interceptions. Most of his career. By the way, I brought this up before. You keep hearing people, not you, but we all hear people say, oh, nobody throws interceptions like this. Peyton Manning threw 23 interceptions in year 4, 19 in year 5. Stop it. Now, he's not Peyton Manning.
Yeah.
But he had comparable numbers through his first 5 years. The point would be a lot of guys that aggressively challenge all parts of the field do make these kinds of mistakes. And it is maddening. You'd like for that to get tempered and figured out over time. And I'm not trying to say he is that guy, a Hall of Famer. What I am saying, though, is that you do have to, on the field, take complete command of your offense and tell receivers when they're running wrong routes and be unabashed. Take ownership. And he did it this weekend. I hope he continues to do it. I hope he feels comfortable enough because Evans is killing him. Evans routinely runs the wrong route and doesn't run hard.
Yeah, he pulls up a little bit from time to time.
Yes. All the time.
He's the quietest type of diva-style receiver, though, because he doesn't bitch on the sidelines about it.
Oh.
They don't have the camera cutaway where Evans is screaming down the offensive coordinator. But, they'll show a replay of a route, and it's like,
well, there needs to be a cutaway.
Yeah, it wasn't there for me. That's okay.
I think one of the best things that could happen, and it may happen before the season's end because this keeps happening every week, one of the best things that could happen is if they cut over and Jameis and he have to be separated. Let's get to that point because we need to have a come to Jesus here. I've been waiting for it on every one of these, sagging ass routes where he's not even trying. I'm like, and you're right. Winston's always deferred to him. He'll just stoically jog off the field.
By all accounts, they get along, though, because they
work out together in the offseason, yeah.
Right. Well, and if you look at their foundations, the two of them, the other guy's always there. That's not always a given within a 53-man roster that, you're going to support every one of your teammates. But Mike was there at the opening of Jameis Foundation. Jameis is there for anything Mike needs when it comes to holding public gatherings or financial support. So, those two get along off the field. But the discord is raising to a new level because Jameis' body language yesterday was outwardly frustrated with Mike in a way that I don't know I've seen before. It was almost Perryman-esque in a couple of instances.
Well, that guy, oh my God, I don't know how he keeps it together. Maybe he just doesn't think enough of him to waste any time with him.
Well, yes, after the first, fool me once, he's like, well, you guys are going to keep running him out here. But still, though, the one thing I will say, now the 3rd and 5 decision is great. It's aggressive. I did think that throw could have been a tad more accurate. It was kind of floating around. It got the job done. The first thing to do there is to get the job done, but that has potential for a touchdown.
Well, but I like that he threw it on the other shoulder because he doesn't want anything bad to happen in that situation, given how pinned down they are. So he's going to make it so that he can catch it, nobody can catch it. Perryman never knows where he is on the field.
Yep.
So half the time, I don't know if that's the throw or if that dude's just wandering around willy-nilly, doesn't know where he is. I think it's the latter.
Well, this happens to Jamie, my fiance, that she'll always have like a bruise on her shin. I was like, where?
How did that
And she's
happen?
like, I don't know. And her complaint is, I don't know where my body is in space. That's like one of her things. She's like, I don't know where my body is in space. I just bump into stuff and all.
But Jamie is a PhD statistical analyst. He is a professional athlete.
He's supposed to be. That's not part of her job description to know where she is.
In fact, I figure she probably bumps into stuff.
Yep.
Him, what are we doing?
Right,
You're
exactly.
a fast twitch. You're supposed to know every part of your body. It's your instrument. What are we doing? Just wander around? He'll wander out the back of the end zone, wander to the sideline. He has no idea where he is. That's why he was available for nothing.
He might be green-white colorblind. I don't know.
Well,
I don't know.
We need to have one of those tender moments where they give him the special glasses.
With the
before
visor.
game.
Give him the visor.
Give him the visor.
Yeah.
We can all weep together. He'll know where he is on the damn field. It's unbelievable. All right, so no first look, immediate look. What's it called?
Front row Knowles first look. That's
well, I
correct.
know it's front
You
row
had it.
Knowles. I
Yeah.
just didn't know it was, yeah. So no front row Knowles first look as there was no game. This is the most, I hate it because I just have to confess I'm just the least interested maybe I've ever been. Maybe ever for a Florida State Florida game.
Less interested, well, because of the Bobby thing in 2009. You know, we knew what was coming, but there was the angle of, is this going to be it? Maybe.
Yeah, I think there were more storylines surrounding that game that
we've already fired our coach.
Yeah,
you know,
our
so.
coach has been fired, and I'll tell you this: that's going to be an interesting offseason. I mean, obviously, we're now all eyes on who's the next coach, and people really, really, obviously, will be just hyper focused on that. Boy, the days go by, and the more information that trickles out from over there, it's almost like they waited too long to fire Willie. I mean, at some point we'll talk more about this.
It should have been maybe
sooner.
1 year.
Yeah,
that's funny.
Dead serious. Like this stuff. I'm just going to tell you some of the stuff that I've heard. I'm not talking about. I don't want anybody to get it mixed up. I'm not saying anything criminal or anything like that. I'm just talking about just gross oversight and terrible organization beyond what I thought was the case. And whew, you hear things and you're like, okay, even if a part of that is true, we may have waited too long. We should have maybe right after that Boise State game. That's it.
Saw a stat today, or at least a note, not really a stat, that of our 6 wins this season, only 1 has come against a bowl-eligible team.
Sure.
It was Louisville.
Well, think about last year. I mean, we could have lost 9 games very easily.
Yeah.
And that one, you're like, okay, trying to implement a culture change, all this, okay, inherited a nightmare, got it. But then in year 2, it didn't. And I think the other thing is, I really am stunned by the way that they've responded in terms of effort more than anything else. I get that they didn't play anybody, but just to see across the board the ratcheting up of effort, I don't know that a lot of those guys believed in that guy at all.
It's hard to know.
It is,
but they went
hard
to
to
class for him. I mean, that counts for something.
Well,
and I'm not doing that
holding
age-old thing, where we rip coaches fat. I'm just saying if you're looking for indicators that they've bought in to a degree.
No, I'm always going to give Coach Taggart credit and for coming in and immediately saying it's different now. You're going to go to class. You're going to do the things that you're in college to go do. And that was a priority for him, and I don't think anybody argues that. To the extent, yeah.
Maybe we can discuss it on Saturday at Hangar 38 when we get ready for the 7:30 kickoff up there. It'll be more
party,
about conversations, right?
This is going to be much more about let's just get together and celebrate the end of a season. Let's just celebrate the end of this season.
Yeah, because I'm thankful for you.
And I'm thankful for you, too.
It's going to be thankfulness on Saturday.
It will be thankful that there's bowling alleys, that there are bowling alleys.
Mm-hmm.
It'll be thankful that there are video games and there are areas to walk about where you don't see a television.
It's like that old commercial for Snickers when the coach says video games and the guy goes, video games. Yep, that's it.
That's us.
That's us.
Video games.
Yep. The 2-hour card, right? 2-hour, all you can play.
All you can play. Oh, by the way, the schedule for the week is today and tomorrow in peace. That's how we're rolling this week, guys. Tom's going down to Tampa. I'm staying here in
the
town. The
non-shady side, going to Pinellas County.
Yeah, Pinellas. Go to my stomping grounds there in St. Pete. Hey, Lakewood won over the weekend. There we go, Spartans.
So did we.
So did you.
We beat Bishop Verot.
There you go.
We got.
Are our two teams going to win the state title in the same year?
We've never won it, but we've gotten to this point 8 times in the last 9 years. They need to get over the top here at some point, like Stallone. Because if they do,
send them the movie.
You know where I'm going?
Yeah.
If we get the job done,
yeah,
I'm going to 2810 Share Road or 2910 Cary Forest Parkway.
I'll join you with a victory celebration.
If we both win the state championship,
we'll do it. Let's go have a cigar.
Yep.
Sounds perfect. Let's go to Jerry's.
Be my first one.
You've never had a cigar?
No.
Whew, I used to smoke them on the regular.
See, no, my folks, we're big into the
Right.
cigarettes. So
No,
all kinds of smoking to me, I stayed away.
Yeah, you've done the right thing for the most part. Although cigars are awesome, and I could easily be an addict. I've got an addictive personality, so I tend to I temper myself, or else I'll go blazing down that road, Tom.
Now pills. No, I'm just kidding.
Good work out of you. Good work, Matthew. Monday Night Football coming up later on. Stay with us for that. Take care. Have a great night, everybody.